This crazy. I got people. Y'all saying y'all see me, but I don't see y'all. Okay, who they? Who they right there?
Mr. Steven.
Oh, okay, that's what happened, bro. I sent y'all the wrong damn link, man.
All right.
Sent y'all the wrong damn link, man. Tell everybody, man, use that last link I just sent, man. I sent y'all the wrong link.
Everybody asked. I think Young just got it, so he's gonna be linking up.
Yeah, hey, my fault, y'all. My fault. I sent y'all the wrong fucking link, man. Hold on, let me get this shit straight right now.
Sorry, I'm over here enjoying some candy bar before we get ready. How's everything going with you, though, brother?
Man, everything is everything, bro. Everything is everything, bro.
Let me be the first to say thank you for putting this together.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for the support, bro. Y'all some real dudes. Y'all some real dudes, man. I sent y'all the wrong link.
It was just a test to see if we were gonna see it.
Shit. Yeah, young some live now. You didn't get this shit straight, send y'all the right link, man. Like I heard somebody else come in. Somebody else is coming in?
Yeah, we got a couple people now.
Okay, cool.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, y'all, how's
Hey,
it
who
going?
that be? Who that be?
This is Kiora.
This who?
Kiora.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm on another screen. I'll be back in a minute. Let's see who it is. Yeah, I'm in a whole nother screen. Hey, my bad for sending y'all the wrong link. I told you this is my first time. It's my bad.
It's cool.
How you doing today?
I'm hanging in there. No complaints. Hi, everybody. We done lost one person.
Everything is everything on my end there.
I hear you.
Hey.
Everything is everything. Oh, did Paul got in?
Yep, I think he just said that he's not gonna be able to use his video for right now.
Chris.
Yes, what's going on,
Hey,
brother?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm on another
good,
screen,
good.
so I can't see nobody right now. So I'm on another screen. I'm sending y'all the right link, man, because I fucked up. My bad.
Who's the lady there? Who's the lady?
I'm finished.
Hello,
I'm finna see you in a minute.
Naturally.
Yes, naturally came.
Oh, hey, boo, what's going on, girl? I thought that was
What's
you. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Miss Naturally? How you doing, Miss
I'm
Miss
good. How
Naturally?
are
You good?
you? Hey, I'm
I'm
blessed.
good. We're happy to have you on.
I'm happy to be on.
Paul don't look like nobody got their video.
Hey, Miss Lene.
Oh, well, she
We're just
Lene?
Lene might be having some
Lene?
issues over there.
Lenny.
Oh, she in now. There she go.
Oh,
Hey, darling, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, babe?
I'm fine. I'm doing fine. Let me get this straight. I sent y'all the wrong link. I humbly apologize, y'all.
It's all good.
I humbly apologize. Now I'm trying to get back on Google Plus so I can send in the right link.
no.
Don't look like it's giving me
Naturally. Is that your natural here?
No. This is a weave, but I am natural under this. My hair is natural under this.
Okay. I like seeing the document getting use of your foot still.
Shit, I'm scared to go out this damn
Natural.
page. I'm afraid you're gonna drop.
Naturally.
Yes?
You were saying something. I didn't hear you.
Oh, no. I was asking you what you said. Your voice is going in and out.
Sorry. I was saying, I like to see black women in their natural state.
Hey, I'm seeing natural now. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I haven't had a perm for 5
Okay.
years. Like a campaign, but we gotta protect the style now. We gotta keep that retention. Don't let me get started on that now for here.
It's okay. Please, no, please don't. I understand.
We missing some other.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Go
Hey,
right
Chris. I think
here.
I have a good time here.
You did what now?
I think we're gonna have a wonderful show.
I think it's gonna be wonderful too.
Hey, Chris, can you hear me?
Ooh, that's loud. Sorry, I'm playing my volume.
I hear all of y'all.
Mm. Oh, good, good, good. Hey, David.
Oh, is David on?
Yeah, yeah. I can see David, but I don't think he can hear us.
He got his microphone on mute. Yeah, they got their microphone on mute, so all right, I sent the correct link, y'all. So hopefully Griffin will come in a minute, and everybody else who claimed they was going to join. Somebody phone ringing. Make sure I put my shit on vibrate. On vibrate. So
I don't know where the video went.
that's my fault. She had hit me. You know what? Right before I did this, she had called me on Hangouts, and I told her I had to send y'all the link, but I made a mistake sending everybody the wrong link. So hopefully, I sent her the right link. So hopefully she'll see it. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I did send her the right link. Hold on. Call myself, went back and do it for everybody. Bittiana. Oh, I didn't send her the right one. Oops. Okay. Years hit me up, so he should be popping up sometime soon too. Did y'all put y'all mics on mute, or did he do that automatically? Steve, you still there?
Hello?
Hey, Bri, how you doing, darling?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But Steven, you still there, bro? Steve.
Shit is weird.
Yo, Steve.
Can you hear me? Chris.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Alright.
I'm seeing Paul, naturally Kay, Lene, and David's. They microphone are muted. I'm trying to find out, did y'all do this on y'all own or what?
Okay, she unmuted hers now.
Huh?
Chris, I actually muted mine like you instructed me to.
Okay, I'm just making sure that y'all do it, or is the system doing it?
No,
Nope,
I did it.
I did it.
Okay, so y'all did it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure the thing ain't fucking up now. Just make sure the thing ain't fucking up. Hey, Stevie, you still here, right? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Somebody named Chris just came in too. I don't know who this guy is. How you doing, Chris? Which Chris is this?
It's the dude I was telling you about that I know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep, sorry, give me just a sec. I'm dealing with the camera settings.
Oh, no problem, man. I just want to know was you real, man? How you doing, brother?
Doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. Appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you joining the show.
You bet. You bet.
Okay. All right. Everybody do me a favor. Put your microphones on mute, no. So I got a couple things I want to talk about. And once I talk about this, no, say, hey, we all can just come in and clown. Can y'all do that for me? Come in and clown.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. But first of all, y'all, I want to welcome all of y'all. Like I said, this is my first ever broadcast. I'm hoping everything is going well. Of course, everybody know the topics, simp, dumbass niggas, niggly bears, and all that. I want to thank everybody who showed me support on this and who invited other people to come, which should be more than this, but I'm not sure if anybody getting it or whatnot. You, Britt, you talking about Honey Cola. I've been hitting up Honey Cola, but I haven't got a response from her yet, so I don't know if she's not getting my messages or whatever, or have you tried to hit her up to try to get her to come on, but I'm hoping somewhere she will see the link and just come on, you know, and speak her mind, because I really want to hear about that, because you was telling me that y'all was in this group and whatever she said, the niggas got mad and just blocked her for some reason whatsoever. I want to hear about that. But anyway, well, I got a question and answer section that's supposed to be up, but don't look like nobody gonna be coming to ask no questions, at least no time soon. So anyway, I got few things I want to speak on myself, and I'm gonna let y'all have at it. I want to talk about the reason why I came up. Okay, somebody just responded no. I don't know who the hell it was, but it is what it is. I came up with this topic because, you know, like I said, simps, dumbass niggas, we got a lot of them motherfuckers in the world. I'd have dealt with some, pretty much sure y'all have dealt with some as well. And I want to give an example of these men that I'm talking about. I got this one story that I want to tell that it's amazing that how niggas are coming to new bitches now. I had this cousin that I was dealing with that I no longer deal with this guy anymore. And for some reason, this guy felt like that since me and him was cool, that I'm supposed to pay his way because he out here fucking around. And when I told him straight up that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not finna pay your way, nigga. If I'm out here working, you can get out here and work too and get the same thing that I got. It won't be hard for me to get like you. All I gotta do is start working, start paying my bills. I'll be just like you. I'll be staying back home with my mama. That's your problem right there. Your mama pacify you too much. That's why you don't do anything. So you come to niggas like me, you try to get me to take care of you. So he comes to me one day. I'm trying to get back on my feet. I need a vehicle. This nigga had a vehicle. You can go anywhere you want to. That's another sad thing about it. If you got a vehicle, why are you not working? You can get to a place to put in the application faster than I can because I don't have a vehicle. But just because I don't have a vehicle doesn't mean that it's going to stop me from getting where I need to go or doing what I need to do to handle my business. So he needed his car fixed. They tried to ask me to give him the money. I never really told him I was going to give him the money. I told him straight up, until I can get me a ride, you know, nobody gets no money out of me until I get myself together. You would think somebody who called themselves my friend or my family will understand it. Not this nigga. This nigga straight up started arguing with me. Arguing me like I'm supposed to pay his way. He was arguing with me like I was supposed to give him the money to get his car fixed. This nigga was literally arguing up and down about my hard-earned money. And the way he was talking in the argument, I swear, this nigga act like me and him was fucking. I literally had to go check my pants, see that I have a split in the middle. Because this nigga arguing up and down like we were straight up fucking. And I say, that's a fucking shame. You know, you supposed to be family. My best friend, I've been dealing with you for 18 years. And now you showing me that this is what our friendship is about. It ain't about me and you being cool, me you come together and make things happen. It's about what you can get out of me. But like they say, family member is the worst. So CC did that. I don't deal with that cat no more. So he a simp and dumbass and too. Now, for Uncle Niggly Bear go, I got a cousin. I ain't seen this guy in years. First time I seen this guy in years was 2008. I was happy to see this guy because I pretty much grew up with him. Make a long story short, I don't know what's up with these guys who live their life in jail. I mean, you would think people would like their freedom. They can go to bed when they want to go to bed. They can eat when they want to eat. Go outside when they want to go outside. Get in their car, leave when they want to leave. Instead of being locked down for 23 hours, you got to do what they tell you to do. Not this nigga. This nigga stay going back to jail. So when I seen him, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, thinking that he's going to straighten up. But this nigga still doing the same thing. Writing bad checks. Stealing shit. Then make it so bad. Got his girlfriend. I don't know how girls get mixed in with these dudes and pretty much do exactly what the fuck the boyfriend is doing, and then turn out to be exactly just like him. A jailbird. A straight up jailbird. Now, I don't know, somebody told me that when you writing checks, it's a felony if you write one over $200. Can anybody tell me anything about that real quick? What's the felony on writing checks?
Bad check writing, to my knowledge, is a felony automatically regardless of it. But that's as far as I know.
Okay. Well,
it kind of depends, though. It's whether or not the place you wrote the bad check to wants to report you or just put a fee on you.
Okay. Well, somebody told me a long time ago that if you write anything over $200, it's a felony. I don't know. I don't know because I never written anything over $200. I ain't never had the money and I ain't even trying. But this fool.
I don't even write checks, so I don't worry about it.
Yeah, I kind of stopped too because it really fucks you up when you do that shit, especially when you think you got the money, then something else come out there when they try to pull it in. You got a whole lot of shit just going on, man. This shit is crazy. But, I'm going to tell you how dumb his girlfriend was. Him and this chick went and got a new car. I don't know where the fuck they got this new car from, but they went and got one. And I needed a ride somewhere, so they gave me a ride. Come to find out, they wrote a $1,500 check to the car company, which ain't nothing surprising me because, like I said, they criminals. But here's the part they got me. This chick had a wreck, a hit and run in the car, and they came and pulled the car. And I bullshit you not when I tell you about this next part. This bitch left something in the car. Called down there to the car dealership and said that she left something in the car. Can she come and get it? I'm not making this up. She told me this herself. And said the guy told her, lady, are you serious? I mean, if I was you, I don't even worry about this shit you got in the car. Your biggest worry is about this bogus check y'all wrote. They talk about pressing charge on y'all. And I just told her, I'm the type of person, man, I'm blunt with you when you do something stupid. That was stupid for you to even say that, for you to try to take your ass down there. So is this a such thing as simpettes? We call niggas simps? We're going to call the female simpettes. And she was a real retarded simpets. And I don't understand how females let guys mold them into shit like that. I just don't get it. Maybe the women on here could tell me how does that happen when I let y'all mute y'all mics. So anyway, long story short, he ended up going back to jail, and the bitch went to jail with him. Crazy. This shit is crazy, man. So that's one of the reasons why I came up with this topic. Another reason why I came up with this topic because these young generation of children, how they coming up to be the way they are. As a matter of fact, now I'm gonna let all y'all in on this, man. I'm y'all mics. We're gonna talk about this together. Fuck it, I'm y'all mics.
Just to hop in just for a second. According to the best information I could find, it depends on the state you're in. But first offenses under $100 are generally considered a misdemeanor, and anything more than that becomes a felony, and second offenses on become a felony as well. But it does vary state to state.
Okay, then. Appreciate the info. But y'all gonna reach out Mike now, man. We're gonna get all this together. We're gonna get in all this together. All right, I want to talk about this young generation of teens and how they growing up to be these type of men, you know, being disrespectful, being, well, I call them niggly cubs because they not 21 years old yet, so they cubs going into niggly bears, and they out just doing the same stupid shit as these grown men doing. So, robbing, stealing, disrespecting folks. I think the worst thing they did for kids in school was to take out punishment. Because now you got these kids turning around, whooping the teacher's ass, they whooping the principal's ass, some are whooping their mama and daddy ass, and some are whooping the security guard ass at the school. But the security guard doesn't fight back because I guess they're afraid of this shit called racist. I think they should put punishment back in school because if they grown up to whoop on grown men, then they should be grown up to take the ass whooping right back. How many of y'all feel the same way?
Yeah, I agree.
Nah, y'all gonna reach out mics. Go ahead. Everybody reach out mics. Go ahead. Speak your mind.
I think all of this, everything that you're saying. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Chris? I think that everything that you're saying, like all the problems that you're speaking about, it all ties into, and it's not just a black problem because as you can see, it's blacks, whites, and different age groups. It ties into westernized culture. We're talking about modern day America is just not what it used to be. Like this is just a gimme, you know, everybody do what they want sort of thing. And like you said, your cousin, I'm going, you know, in order from the stories you just told, your cousin who felt entitled to your money, that's it. That's a part of the gimme, gimme, gimme mentality. You know, the whole issue with the girl taking care of the guy, she's contributing to it by you know, enabling him. That contributes to the gimme mentality. And now you have the kids who are adopting the same thing because they see their parents doing it, and they're going to carry. And this mentality is just going to get even, it's going to become more prevalent. I don't even feel sorry for the kids coming up. I feel sorry for their kids because they're going to be just as bad. So this is more about an American society. Like it's a mental plague because everybody just wants what they want at any and all costs. So you're just one of the people who's experiencing the back end of it. We've been just giving everybody what they want without considering the consequences. We've been letting everybody make choices without weighing the end results. And it's not just the kids, like you said, it's the adults. They feel entitled to just get whatever they want and just to hell with the consequences. And I think that's to me, that's an American cultural problem.
You know,
Every generation is just getting worse and worse, guys.
Hold on, Paul. And the same thing about the cousin that I was just telling you about. His mom's. This dude even talks bad to his moms. I've seen it too many times, and I talked to his mom. I was like, you know, if that was my mom or my grandmama, and I talked the way to you, like he does you, I think got smacked in the mouth. You let this man do this in your house. This man talks shit to you and cuss to you in your house. You don't see nothing wrong with this? She tells me, you know, well, we teach him the freedom of speech. Ma'am, that's not the freedom of speech. Your son is a jackass. That's not freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is speaking your mind, and they say, okay, you can speak your mind, because like my grandma and mom used to tell me, okay, I don't mind you speak your mind. Just remember who you talking to. All right, fine, I'm good with that. When you sit up there telling your mama, damn, I'm doing something, man. I even heard her tell his mom and dad at one time, they full of shit. I said, man, I know he gonna get his ass knocked out. He get home. What happens? Nothing. Mama, don't do shit to him. Don't do shit to him at all. I was like, wow, this is why he act the way he act. When he go out, he know he come back home to you, because he come back to you, you gonna pop your tit out and put it back in his mouth. You pacify this bastard. Well, all you can do, change them locks, leave his ass outside. I bet you he straighten his shit up. I don't know where the fuck he at now. I ain't trying to find out where the fuck he at now. And these kids, and you are absolutely right. I wish a lot of them would get shot. Not to die, but I wish a lot of them would get shot. Down here in Memphis, we had a story probably about a month and a half ago. I'll never forget. I thought it was so sad. These a white couple that was married was talking to somebody, was trying to buy a car. They told them the destination to meet them where to get the car. Instead of them being met with a car, they got met by 3 niggly cubs. with AKs, robbed them at gunpoint, took their money. When the guy pulled off, they shot at him and they took off running. But they didn't know the porch had a camera on it and it caught everything. But now when they told the story on the news, what got me was the lady said how all this started. Guess who she was talking to? A woman, an older woman. So you mean to tell me a woman who was possibly one of their mothers participated in this bullshit and set them folks up for these 3 young stupid motherfuckers to go rob them? That just blew my mind. These young generations fucked up.
That's a part, but Chris, that's a part of the gimme right now, the instant gratification mentality. All of America is hooked on it right now. Give me what I want, and I don't care who has to get hurt. And we've been on. I guess we are the ones who see that this is a problem. So I'm not gonna say we're victims of it, but we're getting the back end. We're getting the shit end of the deal, the short straw, because we have these family members, these loved ones, these spouses, whoever, and we're experiencing it. I'm going to assume everyone who's involved in this conference call has known what it felt like to be in a relationship with someone who, wanted what they want, whether it was money, benefits, whatever, at the expense of your happiness. It's all a part of the gimme mentality. Like you said, your cousin who's disrespecting his parents, they're enablers. So that's a 2-part relationship. That's not just the wrongdoer; it's someone who's enabling them. And like I said on G Plus in that comment
Every
section,
generation.
people, I blame the enablers.
Every generation, guys, is not getting any better. Every generation, guys, is not getting any better. As long as these children are being raised up in these households, there's nothing that we as adults can really do for these young children until the households get better. The one thing I'll always be saying is this. Because it really starts up in the households, every generation is getting worse and worse. Messed up generation is raising up the next messed up generation, and the cycle just keep going every year, every generation, and it's not going to end, in my opinion. Right now, Chris, these niggly bears, as we all know, they're raised up in single mother households. For me now, what I would say is this: the cure to rid the black community of these niggly bears, the first thing we got to do is disconnect the white man from the black female. Disconnect that support. I've got to get these black females to understand, say, hey, you females are playing a role in the reason why these children are like this. These children are messed up. They're no good. They ain't shit. These ain't shit people. These ain't shit boys and girls. These ain't shit boys and girls. They will continue to raise up ain't shit boys and girls. These men who ain't shit. And I have no problem saying men ain't shit. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem saying men ain't
Can I hop in
shit.
here for just a second?
Because it's true. It's true.
Yeah, let me hop in here for a second. The thing is,
What's up with your brother?
There's some noise in the background, guys.
yeah, it's Chris. It's the other Chris.
No, I'm talking to the guy who just joined in. I'm trying to speak to him.
Oh,
The guy who
okay.
just came in.
Yeah.
Ekimoka. How I pronounce your name, brother? I don't know if you hear me or not. You, brother.
I think you put
brother,
yourself
what-
on mute.
I had to mute the TV. I didn't wanna.
Oh, okay. How I pronounce your name, brother?
Nah, just call me EKH, man. It's fine. EK, it's fine.
EK? EK?
Yeah, EK, it's fine. Yeah.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining the show. How you doing?
I'm good. I got the message a little while ago, but I was in the middle of something, so I remember I got the reminder, and I'm like, okay, let me join you guys and see what's good.
All right, man. I appreciate you joining. Okay, my bad. Chris, go ahead. Say what you were saying, brother.
So I don't see this as just being a parental issue. This is a whole society problem. Everything from the way that we treat competition in schools to everybody being out for themselves, to the way we promote greed, to the way that we treat people, is every little bit of that is a contributor to the problem our society is in right now. But I look at this as every society, every great empire has a lifespan, and eventually that lifespan comes to an end. And it's always social reform. It's always social issues that are the downfall. If you look at a lot of the contributing factors that played into why Rome finally fell, it was the vote of the people, it was the will of the people, it was the attitude of the people, and it was things born out of excess. And in this country, we've lived in excess for the better part of 80 to 100 years, and now we're reaping the negative aspects of bad ideas floating to the top because people don't even know how to debate anymore. When I have my YouTube channel, I'll go over some of the problems, and I do a lot of responses to like racist videos and stuff like that, and I'll put up the facts. And one of the things I've learned over time is A, people don't understand statistics. B, they have no interest in learning. C, if it doesn't match their narrative, they hate you. And it doesn't matter if I'm a white guy advocating against white people, they hate me. If I'm a white guy advocating against something that is going wrong with the black community, they hate me. It doesn't matter if my message doesn't match their narrative, they hate me. And it is as simple as degrading me to a point where I am something less than human, or where my point no longer matters, rather than addressing my point of view at all. And
Chris, let me ask you: have you ever been called a coon for your views?
Oh, I've been called coon. I've been called and I'm a white guy, but I've been called a coon, Uncle Tom. I've been called a racist. I've been called a scumbag. I've been told that I'm going to burn in hell. It's all supporters of people like.
You're not alone.
Yeah, like
you are not alone, Chris. You're not alone.
Oh, David Kelly here has the same thing, man. The same people that were going after me were going after him, and we sort of banded together for probably the last month and a half now, just fighting against it. It's gotten to the point where some of these guys will show up, they'll comment 20, 30 times on the same videos, and they'll go across videos and mass downvote and try to report me. And I'm not saying anything racist in any of my videos. I'm not. It kills me, and it doesn't matter as a white guy. It doesn't matter what I do, despite the fact that I'm one of only 3 white people in my whole neighborhood. I'm one of only 2 white people in my whole house, and despite the fact that most of my friends aren't even white, because I'm white, my opinion doesn't matter at all, and it's astonishing the level of things I've seen out of people. So we don't debate bad ideas and good ideas. We have shit like safe spaces and fucking wordless, bad ideas floating to the top, people telling you what you can or can't say, what you can or can't think, when to walk, when to sit, when to run. And it's all control. Social reform is all about control.
It's amazing how that word
opinion. People having an opinion.
It's amazing how the word coon gets.
They look at us as an enemy.
Hey, Chris.
Oh.
Can you hear me, Chris? Oh, wait,
yes,
not Chris. What is his name? Oh, the 2 of you. The guy who just spoke.
Yeah, you call me Redemption to make it easier.
Redemption. There we go. So I have I times when I hear folks speak, and sometimes they seem to just go into examples ad infinitum, and then sometimes people just gloss over the core subject, and you don't get a sense of. Give me an example. I don't want to beat about the book. Give me an example of an instance where I guess you had a stance or an opinion around your peers, be it coworkers or I guess your neighbors, whatever, where you suddenly became an outsider. Because I guess at some point I'm trying to get a handle on. I saw a meme the other day. It says, people's opinions of you shouldn't matter to, and they shouldn't matter to you. But a lot of times, it's not so much if they matter to you; it's the idea that other people who are myopic might, in ways that we can't comprehend, impede progress. So I was wondering. I understand where you're coming from, what you're saying, but could you give me an example of something that
Certainly, yeah. I'll give you two. I'll give you two. So one of them's a small example, and it's in my real life, my everyday real life, and the other one is a stronger example, and it's in my YouTube channel. So in my regular life, I live in Southern California. The area that I'm in is mostly Mexican. We've got a sprinkling of white and a sprinkling of black. Most of the Asians live in Orange County and things like that. But where I'm at, predominantly my whole neighborhood is middle-class Mexican. When I moved in here, I was not well liked for probably about a year and a half because I was another white guy moving in, and it took almost 2 years for me to show them, like, I'm not a troublemaker. I'm not here to have crazy parties. Like, I keep to myself. I'm friendly to everybody. But it took 2 years, and during that time, they would call the fire department on me. They would call animal control if my dog barked, and they would just, I mean, really over the top. And then finally, all of a sudden, after about 2 years, I started getting invited to all the parties, you know. And it took a long time living here before for them to accept me, really. That's just a real small example. One of the big examples is there's a YouTube channel, black woman by the name of Cynthia G, who lives up in Seattle, Washington, and her whole YouTube is centered around this idea that white people are genetically inferior and that we're genetically dying off, despite the vast census data evidence that shows that we're, by and large, in interracial relationships, and it's starting to create what will eventually become the biggest race demographic, known as the two or more race demographic, which is supposed to take over by 2044. And so she'll use statistics, for example. So she'll break out the Department of Justice statistics to make the claim that white people are more violent, for example. And then you'll see, based off those statistics, that white people commit more crimes. But we're also 70-something% of the entire population as well. So I did a response video on that where I went, let's make all things equal, because people don't understand per capita statistics. They don't understand the model representative of per capita statistics. Most people have no idea, and they don't want to know. So I took the two demographics, and I took the census data, and I made both communities equal in size, and then I increased the crime rates by the same factor that I did to make the population the same size. And then you could see what a population equal demographic showed for the crime stats. And I was even surprised by what came out of it. I didn't know what to expect when I went in, and when I came out of it, I got what I got, and people didn't like it. And
I kind of know what would have the mere fact that you were trying to do a ceterum paribus comparison. I could tell you before you started what would happen. But to everybody in the panel, I have a question. I was about to say something when he said he embarked on this project. I'm like, they're going to be shots fired. I mean, what is it about intelligence that irks people? But yet, any one of us could pick a topic now that would be polarizing and incendiary. And if you back it long enough, you will have such a following. It's amazing to me that polarizing or incendiary topics or ideas that literally do nothing and go nowhere are so popular. But if you apply intelligence to any endeavor, really want to push you down, push you back into the corner, shut you down. I don't get it. So I could see what you were trying to do, but immediately I'm going to guess now that there was a lot of backlash to doing it.
Oh, certainly, yeah, there was, and I did expect, once I saw what the results were, I went, this is not going to be well received. But I've accepted it as what is, you know what I mean? And I just go, well, it is what it is. You know, I can only speak to what I see, what I know, you know.
You know, the thing that got me, man, when I asked you, have you ever been called a coon, and you told me, yeah, I'm surprised because I never thought, not to sound stereotype, that a white person would actually get called a coon. I'm shocked by that.
When I do white racist video exposés, the whites come by to call me a coon. even though I'm white. And they call me a
Why
cuck.
did you
and
do
they call- Yeah, dude, you wouldn't believe it, dude. The stuff like, cause are you guys familiar with Evelion? You know who that is?
So anybody
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
can
know
be
who that
called
So
that
is.
that,
word.
yeah,
So
yeah.
anybody can be called that word.
Yep,
That's sad. I
Evelion.
could call Coon many
You
times.
like it?
Well,
I get
Evelion's
called Coon many times, guys.
sure.
Same here. I get called Coon many times, and it don't really bother me. The thing is, a Coon hasn't done
Well,
anything to harm anybody. All a Coon does is give his
that's
opinion.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm using me for example. If I was to get called a word, which probably is going to happen anyway, if people see this, you call somebody a coon because you disagree with what they views or you disagree with them. But check this out.
His
If
name.
I'm a coon, check this out. Check out my record. No arrests, no DUIs. I ever killed a child. I ever molested a child. I ever raped anybody. I haven't sold no drugs. I ain't smoked no weed, no, just a clean slate. So if I'm a coon and got a clean slate, then you tell me who's the most dangerous, me or you stupid motherfuckers out there who call yourself pro-blacks?
Let me touch
You
base
tell
on
me.
that
Pro-blacks,
because
guys.
I just want to say something. I've seen that coon may mean something different for a black race and a white man, a black man and a white man, because what I've seen people call as coon is black men that love on white women, anything outside of their race, or you got to be a coon. I get all private messages because I'm for everybody. My kids are biracial. So I get all kind of private messages on, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that. So that doesn't affect me. I don't think they can look at you going to all of your attributes that attribute you a man. They're not judging you on that. They're judging you simply off of hate. That is a hate word. So they're not looking at anything except, I feel like coons are anybody that mix with a different race. That's what they're considered a coon. So that's what I've seen.
Name
I don't agree.
calling has become name calling has
to be
become the
honest
new
with you,
shaming tactic.
What's that,
I
Dave?
agree
What's
with
that,
that.
DK? Say that again?
Yeah.
Name calling has become the new shaming tactic. If you look at it, and as Redemption said, I had a comment today with all sorts of telling me to suck dick and all this stupid shit, and I was like, this doesn't prove anything to me. It just proves that you're stupid and you don't know how to actually talk. Because if all you can call somebody is a moron and tell them to suck dick, that you really don't have much intelligence to offer anybody.
Why is it now? Why is it that? I guess for a man, I don't know what they do to the women, but for a man, if you disagree with them, that's the first thing. Well, actually, it's a man and a woman. That's why I say the men has become the new whores and the new bitches. That's the first thing they want to do is a gay slur. You sucking dick. You and that nigga must be chilly. Y'all must be fucking
They're
each
trying to
other.
bully you. They're trying to bully you. The bullying, that's a bullying tactic.
Yep.
That's a bullying tactic. That's the stupidest tactic I ever heard. That's the stupidest tactic I ever heard.
That's all these guys have when
What
they come
Chris
to my
is.
channel.
And another tactic they use is that if you disagree with a female, she says you're a self-hater or your mom's black. They say all these shaming tactics, and it really means nothing because if I speak the truth, how can your shaming tactics affect me? I'm telling the truth. So why is that me telling the truth means that I'm a bad guy or I'm a bad person? This is
Right, but
how it
Black
is
Lives Matter,
in
right?
the USA and in the world. How is it
Yeah,
that
Black
someone
Lives
telling
Matter,
the
right?
truth, speaking their mind? Yep, Black Lives Matter. In fact, white people think Black Lives
Matter, right?
Matter more
Yeah.
than black people do. Tell me if I'm lying.
So Black Lives Matter. Hey, hold on for
Tell
a
me
minute,
if I'm
man.
lying.
I ain't heard Steven say nothing. I ain't heard Steven say nothing. Steve, where you at, bro? Yo,
All
Steve.
right.
Steve.
Go
Sorry,
ahead, brother. You ain't saying shit. Where you at, bro?
I've been trying to get my headphones together, but like I said the other night, women use the gay tactic on men pretty much to put you on the defensive. Once you're on the defense, you now have to try twice as hard for the same objective. So it's like the
What about when
easiest
a man
battle.
using on another man? What about when a man using on a man?
Another man using it on a man. That's
That's
a,
like
I have a question.
after the
I couldn't hear you
small
say it
penis
again.
joke, you know.
I have a question. So I was wondering, we
Hold on,
are
hold on, EK.
talking.
Hold on, EK. Let me let Steve finish. Let me let Steve finish. What did you just say, Steve? I didn't
Okay.
catch what you said.
oh, you're all right. I was just gonna say, a man using that same tactic on another man is just kind of like more of a speech fight rather than a physical fight. You know, it's more of a deflecting kind of thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you were gonna if you were gonna attack somebody or actually do something physical, you wouldn't the first thing you wouldn't say is that you're gay, because then you're just showing people that you would only attack a gay man.
Mm-hmm. All
I
right,
I
go
would
ahead,
say,
I would
EK. Please.
venture
if I
to
say
I would
2
venture to
4,
say that
if I say 2 + 2 is 4, how is it that me call gay change anything?
Okay, EK, you finna
If
say
I say 2
something?
+ 2 is 4,
Oh
guys.
yeah. So I had a
Oh, if
question. So I think each and every one of us at any point in time has been around people whose outlook on life is just so shallow and myopic that having intelligent conversations with
Right,
them ends up in these kind of slurs or just run around conversations. But recently, I've been looking at and this is something I think we all should adopt. I've been looking at surround. People use the generic term of negativity is like surround yourself with positive people, surround yourself with remove negative people from your life. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do you do that? But now listening to everybody's stories, I can relate to actually how I have done it, but it wasn't conscious. So I'll give an example. We're all talking about having a debate with somebody, right? Let's say you have a political discussion or religious discussion or something on the basis of sports, something where you disagree. If at some point, if you fall behind in making points and you can't get your point across, I don't think any one of us would resort to name calling. And if you're arguing with somebody who's like-minded, if they fall behind, they wouldn't resort to name calling. If you win, I don't think you would gloat. And I don't think that any of us here would gloat if we won. But the people that it seems that we're talking about who would resort to name shaming and name calling and all that stuff, I do believe at some point the mere fact that we entered a conversation with them, within the first 15 minutes of that conversation whether you should continue it or not. And at some point, if you're in the wrong, a little bit more about our interactions. I will tell you this because as an entrepreneur, there are axioms, like the customer is always right thing, and I understand it, but at some point, some people believe that for some reason you owe them, they are entitled, and right, and it'll cost me, those kind of relationships, a business, be they just regular, everyday, platonic, they might cost gaining a knowledge of.
Has he cut out for anyone else?
I don't know. It looked like he froze up.
I can't hear him.
Yeah,
It's,
he's,
Like he
Yeah, I
he's
froze
can't
cutting
hear
up.
him
off.
no more.
He's right though. I'm curious
Yeah,
as to what he does for work.
I think he froze up.
Yeah,
I see him and froze up. What y'all see?
he's froze for me too.
He's frozen.
So,
Okay. Anybody want to elaborate on it that he was saying?
No, I mean I agree with him. I mean, and that's the thing. It's just the entitlement. And this is again. It's just everybody grows up being told that they're and pardon my language, but they're a special fucking snowflake, and it's just like when we get into like the white privilege conversation, it drives me absolutely nuts, man. I started buying my own clothes when I was like 16. I had to save for my own car. I started working with ex-convicts and convicted murderers when I was 15 and a half during the summers. I've had to pay my own way. I've been shot at, bombed, mortared, and rocketed. Now I spend my life being told that because I'm a man and because I'm white, I'm bad. And I'm going, where's my fucking privilege, man? Somebody, first of all, either A, I didn't get sent my fucking privilege card, it didn't make it to the meeting, or And nobody told me where my fucking white privilege meetings are at, so I'm a little pissed, and I want to know who my fucking union rep is. All right?
I'll tell you right now, they mailed it to me, bro. I use it all day.
Oh, that's where it's at.
Man, y'all doing good, man. Y'all doing good. Let me ask the ladies. We was talking about the young generation in school.
You guys hear me?
I can hear you, bro. Kay,
yeah, Steve, we hear you.
You and Britt is in Florida. Britt, I don't know if you got any kids, but Kay, I think you told me you got two.
I don't have any children.
Okay, cool. Kay, you say you got two, right? Did
Yes,
she freeze up
two.
too?
I have two babies.
Okay. Now I brought up the idea about discipline in school. Now I don't know how they doing in Florida. What is their thing in Florida about disciplining children in school?
I mean, as far as disciplining, they usually, well, my kids are little, so I have a first grader and a kindergartner. So as far, I'm not really familiar with older school age children, but it's not non-existent, but it's not as strict here in Florida. Like, you're going to get a call to the parents. One thing about Florida school system is they have that mentality: if the parents don't care, neither will they. Okay, they will suspend your child. You know what I'm saying? They will suspend your child. They will leave your baby behind. But I'm a very involved mom, and I don't play. School is a time for learning. Home is a time for playing. But they're very lenient in the state of Florida. If the parents don't care, they won't. They will leave them behind and let them cut up, get suspended, and all of that before they call you or anything like that. So it's more of a, look, these parents, they want the parents involved. They're not playing. They want you involved in the meetings, everything. If you want your voice to be heard, you need to be at them PTO meetings at 6 p.m. every Thursday. So that's how it is with Florida. State of Florida is very hands-on with the parents.
So you as a black mother, tell me how you feel about this. When kids mess up in school, and you got teachers that do care about the student, they will call their folks and say, hey, we need to talk because your child doing this, your child doing that. You got some parents that take heed to what we're saying and try to get in there, try to rectify the situation. But you got some parents that come in there, go completely the fuck off on teachers, like, my child don't do that. I know my child. You don't know your child. If you knew your child, then you know what I'm saying, you know what the fuck they doing in school. So what you say about parents that act like that? It goes up there, act ballistic when they're trying to get their child get reported.
Ignorance. It's all about ignorance. I think that parenthood is passed on from generation to generation. Me, myself, my mom had 6 of us. She was a strong black woman, and she didn't play. So that's what I took on with my kids. All of us graduated. Most of us are in college. It's just all about what you are taught, and also your environment, how strict your parents are. I think parents that go up there and act a fool when their children are, they don't care. It's just ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. It's all about ignorance. Like, if you don't want your child to do good in school and you go up there acting a hot mess, them teachers not going to care. So it's all about parent. If you going up there raising hell because your child and threw a pencil at little Louie, something is wrong. It starts in the home. It starts. It's ridiculous. It's not. Oh, so it's just. It's unacceptable.
All right, let me ask you this. Do they have any law down there about you disciplining your children in public? Okay, because down here they took out a whole lot of discipline down here in Memphis. The schools can't fuck them up. You can't fuck them up in public no more. I think that's a dumb decision that they made. You can't do shit no more down here. If you do, you finna get in trouble. You finna go to jail. My thing is this: I'm an 80s baby. I was raised mostly by my grandmother. She don't give a damn where you wild out at. You get your ass kicked right there, and she don't care who's out there.
Like, if you act up, nobody to act up. I mean, that's just them. I don't know about.
Can I say something real quick?
My grandma was the type, if you fuck up in the store, especially a clothing store, you really fucked up. Hey, show me where the belt section is. I'll pay for when I get through. I'm going to wear his ass out. Hey, Huggy P, what's going on, baby?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
Hey,
What's going
hey.
on? Somebody said they want to say something.
Hey,
Somebody said they
okay,
want to say
brother.
something.
I was just gonna say that I think parenting is an obsolete system now. I think with technology that kids learn far more than their parents will ever be able to teach them now. So rather than trying to keep your kids from doing wrong or anything like that, I think parents should honestly just show them all the ills of life. That way the kids are already exposed to it.
I think that I don't have any children, but I think the government intervening has a lot. The government came in and did and took away what every parent had a right to do, and that's raise their child to their discretion. It's technology, but it's also the government. You know, the HRS and protective services. It made it easy for children to just evade parenting altogether. The government has, seeped into people's homes and have stripped away people's rights to raise their children the way they want to.
You
I
know,
want to add on to you have to
Chris.
be careful with that though. When it
you know what?
comes to disciplining your child, there's a very fine line between discipline and child abuse. So
Right.
I think
Yeah.
too is a very I don't play when it comes to children. Okay, I don't play. It is a very fine line, and too many babies out there being abused. So I would rather certain things, government can't come behind closed doors. What I do with my children in here, it's going to be affected out there. Yes, you have peer pressure and all of that, but all you can do is teach your children where to go. Pray for them while they're out there.
Chris,
But it needs to be.
Chris, let me. Okay,
Let me put
Chris,
something
let
in
me
here
get
before
your
we
opinion on
change.
it if you got one, brother.
Yeah, it's funny. I got four myself, and the oldest one is 21. He's off in the military now, and I still have a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And my
So
13-year-old.
what is your form?
What's that?
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
So
I
my
would say I'll definitely ask you. I'm going to ask you, what was your form of discipline or father growing up? They messing up in school out in the streets, or were you finna get into that?
when they were littler, spanking was a go-to. But as I've gotten older, I've discovered that there are far more effective ways for me to make their lives suck if they step out of line. But spanking is always held in reserve as a last resort, if I need to. But I'll tell you, about 5.5 months ago, my 13-year-old came home and got a progress report from his teacher, and he was failing like 5 out of 6 of his classes, and his attitude sucked, and all kinds of shit. And we had a simple solution for that. He no TV, no video games, no phone, no friends, no girlfriend. Come home, you do your homework, and you spend 2 hours outside picking weeds by hand, and do your chores, and then you go to bed. And that's what his life looked like for 5.5 months until his grades came up. And I'll be damned if his grades didn't go right back up, But there's all sorts of ways to deal with it.
Okay, I'm gonna pass this torch to Huggy P, and I think you and him got the same views on that far discipline children. You got it, homie.
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth. Damn, 5.5 months. It's like a prison sentence down there.
I don't fuck around with these kids, man.
That's a long time.
If I may interject, guys, I don't agree with the notion that parenting is a lost art. I think that it's a neglected art, and
Yes.
whatever government intrusion may or may not be, it only gets that way if you do not take your task at heart from the onset. So I will say this: I grew up.
Oh, he dropped off. Oh, wow.
I look at it this way. I don't have any kids, but I will say this, and I've said it to a bunch of people, and people think for some reason I'm lying. But if and or when I do have children, their access to technology or anything like that will be severely limited. Because I don't think it's a productive thing. I think that it can cause behavior problems, and I don't like when I see, because I do a lot of volunteering in schools, I don't like when I see the parents no longer have a choice in that. Like, if parents want to limit technology, well, you really can't because the schools are giving kids iPads and shit now. So they've pretty much taken that away.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
opinion, guys, in my opinion, I'd say homeschooling seems to be better. I'd say homeschooling seems to be better, guys, because if you let your children out in the world, you're gonna expose to too much bad things. So, in my opinion, I think homeschooling seems to be a better
But you
deal, guys.
can't.
What do you guys think?
I apologize. I don't know what's happening. I keep
There
dropping in and
are
out.
some downsides to homeschooling as well. So let's rewind to a time before school shootings. All right, back when I was in 7th grade, I was in the process of being expelled for weapons on campus. Now, it wasn't anything as serious as it sounds, but I was in the process of being expelled, and I spent about a year and a half being homeschooled. And there are some downsides, and I've met some people who have been homeschooled their whole life, and there are some genuine downsides, like having street sense, having common sense when you're outside the house, having social skills and the ability to network is something that a lot of homeschool kids severely lack. So there are some very poignant, serious downsides to that.
So Chris,
What's that?
True,
so Chris, let me ask you.
I agree.
Let me ask you this: since you brought it up, about homeschooling versus public schooling, which one do you think is best in your opinion?
Well, shit, a lot of it depends on where you live and what kind of income bracket you're in, and if you can afford to send your kids to a good school. I've got my 2 younger ones, they're at a good school, and I don't have any problems. My 13-year-old, we're having to have talks about sex and drugs and stuff because of the school he's at, and we're transferring him next year to a better school. Just means I got to drive farther and get up earlier, but that's fine. Those are the sacrifices you make for your kids. But back when, but there are some very serious. I knew these 2 kids, and I'll never forget them. The Carver family, and they spent their whole childhood homeschooled from start to finish, and they were the most awkward, weird, socially broken children I've ever met in my life. And probably still to this day are probably deficient in some way because they lack interaction with their peers. And then they get into the work environment and they're supposed to suddenly know how to interact with people or how to stand up for themselves or how to say no, and they just don't. I mean, and these kids, they didn't know how to say no. They didn't, I could have had that kid doing whatever I wanted them to because they were just so easily manipulatable, But but back on the discipline thing, when it comes to your kids, we'll talk about sacrifices that until, and again, this is not to discount anybody that doesn't have kids, but once you have kids, you really do understand it. The line is drawn at I'll go as far as I absolutely have to make sure that kid grows up to be a decent, contributing member of society. He's not going to go in and fucking shoot up a church full of people. And if that means I gotta whoop some ass every now and again, so be it. And I'm not gonna think twice.
I agree, man.
Hey, y'all do me a favor. Y'all do me a small favor, man. When y'all get through talking, mute your microphone because I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background, and I want to hear people when they talk. So when you get through talking, mute your microphone.
Chris, let me say this.
Microphone so we'll have
Let me say this because I don't know if y'all are on the cell phone version or the PC version. If you're on a cell phone, you can just hit the screen, like above the pictures, and just hit the mute mic, and you can always tap it again and just hit unmute, and it's it's real easy. Like I be eating donuts, and I still mute the mute the mic. You know what I'm saying?
I can mute your microphone too, so I've been doing it, so I'm not trying to be an asshole about it, but I just want to hear what people are talking about.
It sounds like somebody was squeaking on a mattress or something.
Yeah, I believe that's PK. I think that's PK doing something, man. So that's why I'm going around muting everybody's microphone. So if y'all can do that, man, do that for me.
I thought he was getting busy.
Can I ask a question?
Let me pass the torch. Hold on, Steve. Hold on, 1 minute, brother. Hold on.
All right.
I want to ask Kay. Listen to what Chris just said. I want to ask you the same question. Public school, homeschool. Which one you think is better? Let me know, Chick. How you feel about that? You there?
Where is he?
I don't know.
Where is she?
Natural K? I'm gonna do the whole Hogan on you, natural K.
Maybe she's out right now.
Maybe she's
Wow.
frozen. Maybe she
I
froze
don't
up. Maybe
know.
she froze up. All right, Steven, you up,
Chris,
bro?
Turn on your
Chris,
mic, brother.
what I can say is this, Chris. The problem with homeschooling is that the children won't learn social skills because if they're being kept inside the house, they won't learn social skills or learn how to interact with other people. So that's the real downside of the homeschooling. So that's the major downside right there.
You
But
know,
in public schooling, they will learn these things. So I'd
it's
say maybe public schooling is way better, but have to watch out for the downfalls and the
you know
risks.
it's funny you say that. 'Cause I got two sides on that too. I feel like you're doing homeschool. Then if the mom don't feel like getting off her ass and giving the child a lesson for the day, she's not gonna do it. So they missing out on shit. So they get to sit at home
But they can
watching
still have a social
cartoons.
life. They can still have a social life, Chris. They don't. They can go out on the weekends and still meet friends. Just because they're being homeschooled for like a couple of hours a day doesn't mean they can't have a social life. They can.
It's different. It's not.
Let me rebuttal on that. The same ideology that you just gave is just like the father being a parent on the weekend. He doesn't have time to be a father. He only got time to be a buddy or a pal or a friend for a weekend. So you need that extended few days to actually give
Oh
them
no
a
no no
social,
no no! I'm not saying I'm not saying get them less than 7 days of the week. I'm talking on the days that it needs to be done. I mean, of course,
I was
when you
talking
want the
about what the
weekend
lady
free,
said about I don't know what lady it was. She was saying about they still can
that was Brick.
socialize on a
That was
weekend.
Brick.
That's a short time of a week just to what I'm saying.
Well, back when I was going in homeschooling, what they do is they have these. You're done through like a charter kind of. So there's a school organization that you get your curriculum through, and they're the ones that handle all that. But then the parents, they actually handle the teaching. Now you go out to these outings all the time where you meet up at where they'll rent like the hotels, ballroom or whatever, and you meet up with all the other homeschooling parents and the school board that handles that school or whatever, and you get to interact there, but you're interacting with other kids who are socially awkward and don't know how to socialize. So how much socializing are you really getting? But also on top of that, as somebody who's been through it, as somebody who spent a year and a half, I entered high school my sophomore year, and I was behind. I was a year and a half behind all of the stuff that was cool, and I did still hang out with my buddies that were going to public school, when they got home. But also it came with a lot of fucking boredom, because I entered high school with so many. I did 3 years worth of high school credits in 1 year, and I was still spent 3 or 4 hours a day just bored out of my mind, just skateboarding by myself because there was nothing else to do. And the computer games weren't, we were on like Nintendo 64 or something back then, so it was there wasn't a lot of shit to do. I was bored a lot, but I was a year and a half behind when I entered my sophomore year of public high school, and it came with consequences. I had to catch up. I had to rapidly chameleonize myself to current events and figure out what the fuck was going on, so I didn't look like a weirdo, and it comes with some serious downfalls. That doesn't mean it's bad.
No,
In
I
some
think,
cases, for some kids, it's what you got to do. For some.
and I wasn't saying, man, that you got to school them 7 days a week. I'm just saying, you got some parents that, if you want to homeschool them, which how it works. I don't got no kids either, so I don't know how homeschool actually works. Does the parents teach them, or do they have somebody come there to teach them?
Parents.
But if it's the parents, my thing is this: you got some mothers, know what I'm saying, they get tired, which I understand that, and you don't want a teacher for the day, but you lay in bed all day while let the kids just run around. They watching cartoony serial shit all day. I think Monday through Friday still should get their lesson too, just like public school. But on the weekend, give them their freedom. But now, far as the public school goes, you got a downside to that, because when you put your kids in school, they learn and mimic what other kids do. Prime example: my sister was going to school, and I'll never forget. I was playing with her one day, and she kept saying, "I'm gonna fuck you up." I didn't know what she was saying at first. I just kept hearing her, and I kept messing with her. She said, "I'm gonna fuck you up." And my mom's came in. She said, "What she say?" I said, "Outside." She said, "I'm gonna fuck you up." And she has to repeat it. She said it again. "I'll fuck you up."
Oh, all of the worst shit that my kids have ever learned, they learned in public school. I mean, come on.
Right.
But they gotta know that stuff anyways, because they're gonna enter the adult world. They're gonna learn the cuss words. They're gonna learn the slang. They're gonna learn the bad stuff. It's just our
I taught my
job.
son curse words.
Right.
Me too, man. Me too.
I taught him not to say those again.
Let me pass the torch on to Steve. I know he was trying to say something too. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say, the problem with homeschooling is just the children only get as far as the views of the parents. So if they teach them in a negative manner, then that's how they're gonna learn. If the parents were only exposed to so much in their social life, then how much can you really pass on to your children? And then I was actually gonna ask the question, what do you guys think is more valuable, book education or street smarts?
What good is the book education if you get killed?
Well,
I'll say
in my
book.
opinion,
I'll say book
between
first.
book smart. Well, in my opinion, the street smart have some knowledge to it, but the thing is, in society today, guys, in order to get a job, the book thing is not really great. It's not really going to work. So you going to school, getting an education, and having your degree is it's really links and street smarts and connection that will get you jobs. So the book work thing, I'm not so sure about that.
I mean, think about it this way: if you can't remember to look both ways before you cross the fucking street and you get ran over, does it matter how much knowledge you're able to absorb like a sponge and regurgitate?
Because you can still be distracted even though you're educated.
Some of the dumbest people I've ever known in my life had master's degrees. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, I'm telling you, yes.
George Bush is a prime example, right?
Damn straight.
What happened to you? What happened to you, Kay?
Well, I'm in the nursing field. Look, I'm in the nursing field, okay? And doctors are some of the most smartest, dumb people you will ever meet. Okay, they got all the book smart. And I work around this all day, every day. I'm telling you, there are some of the most smartest, intelligent, wonderful, dumbest people you'll ever meet.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like this, it's gone. The street smart is not there.
My girl works as a administration for a stroke program at a hospital, and so she's got to do the wound care rounds and shit. So she does quality control for the stroke program at a hospital, and she says the same thing. It's wacky how dumb some of these people are, and the arguments they'll have with you too. You're like, are you fucking serious?
All right, let me change the subject a little bit. We still talking about kids and teens, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Y'all know y'all hearing a lot about these cops shooting these teens and shooting other folks, and it's mainly blacks or whatnot. And me personally, lately, I've been having no fucking remorse about it because you play with fire, what happens? You get burned. So somebody tell me, why is it's so hard for these young niggly cubs just to do what the police ask them to do?
I want to start this off. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Everybody stop. Hold up, stop. Because I want to start with Britt first on this one. Why is it that us as blacks, young, old, we always holler about we hate cops, but cops ain't doing nothing but doing their job? Example, if you get
it's
pulled
two reasons. It's two reasons. One of the main reasons is the media is always instigating civilian cop tension to turn us against each other. The media is very divisive. CNN, Fox, so blogs online. They're going to tell you about all the evil cops that are shooting people, getting away with it, but they don't mention the good cops. That they're instigating it. That's one of the reasons. The second reason, and I'm not scapegoating him because I love him, I'm proud of him, but when Obama got elected, black people everywhere thought it was okay to just show out. they can defy authority because our president is black. That doesn't make it okay. You still need to follow the rules.
And see, this my thing. Like for a perfect example, if you get pulled over by the cop, what's a smart thing to do? Stop.
Do what he
When the
says.
cop comes up,
Exactly.
the cop comes up to you, he asks you what to do. He don't tell you what to do. When the cop comes to your car, he asks you what to do first. Now, if you go popping off at the mouth, talking shit because you claim you know punk bitch and all that, that's when he start telling you what to do. And then shit just get out of hand.
This
Then
is
these dumbass niggly clubs want to sit there and fight the cops and then end up getting shot. Well, what happens? Mama come in the picture. He just had to shoot him. He just had to shoot him. But your son up here fighting a fucking cop. It's a life or death situation.
This is the thing,
What
Chris.
the fuck are you supposed to do?
This is the thing, Chris, right? And I told this story about 3 days ago. I got pulled over by the state patrol here driving somewhere. I got pulled over. I was
David,
open carry.
David, hold on for one quick second. Hold on for one quick second. David, when you get through, Kay, I'm going to pass the torch to you because you were trying to say something too. So go ahead, David.
I got pulled over, and I was open carrying that day because I was on my way to a range that's like 40 minutes away from here. Simply put, what I did was I left. I didn't touch anything. I didn't do anything. I was very respectful to the cop. I told the cop I do have a gun. If I had gone and said, and I don't care if you say I'm white and that's the reason that nothing happened, but guess what? If I have a gun and he knows it, if I go sitting there talking shit to him, guess what's going to happen? He's probably going to shoot me because he sees me as a threat automatically. It doesn't matter. So there's a way to handle things and there's a way to not. The media is telling. The media keeps telling you don't respect police. Don't respect police. Well, guess what? When you're face to face with somebody who has the power, you got to at least respect that power enough to where, because whether you use your freedom of speech or not, what does it matter if the cop shoots you and you're dead? What does that matter anymore? You just you use your freedom of speech, but you're dead and nobody cares at this point.
And see, that's what I'm saying, man. You know, I'm not saying there's not police brutality. It is out there. I mean, we all can agree on that. But most of this brutality is caused on the ignorant of people who they pulling over, who they trying to arrest. You know what I'm saying? Like they always tell you, if you feel like they're in the wrong, let the court handle it. You can't handle this shit yourself, fighting the cops, trying to go for his gun. Now, once you go for a cop gun, pretty much it's fair game then, because now he's under pressure. You trying to kill him. So it's like, you know, man, I love my train of thought, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And shit happens, and, you know, the shit just get blows up out of proportion, and everybody want to blame the cops. Just like the story Tommy did. The 3 little whores sitting up there that stole the car, instead of them just pulling over, like they asked them to, they run all across town. And they played with fire, got burnt, drowned. Now they holler about, y'all couldn't save you. Y'all couldn't win and save them. But he said they tried to save him. But shit, what can they do? The car is sinking. You in a fucking pond. So now the moms get on the microphone, talk about, in fact, on here, talk about my child, she's not no criminal. She steal cars, but she paid the time for it. She paid the time for that. I promise you, when I hear that whore talk, she remind me of Taylor Pendergrass. You got what I need. That's how she talk. That's how she talk to me. My child, no criminal.
Guys, I'm really so sorry.
Y'all sit up there, y'all slandering her name. Bitch, you don't know the word of slander. Slander means you telling some shit that you know is not true. You're not telling them, sir.
You know who could have saved them when Mom saw them in the car that evening, knowing they shouldn't have been behind anybody's wheel. She could have saved them herself.
Right.
But she probably was pregnant to the
Now when the
that night
mothers knew where their child was, right. She probably too busy to get some dick, first of all. That's why she didn't know what they was at. She probably too busy to get some dick. And 4 o'clock in the morning, how the fuck you know your child at 4 o'clock in the morning? Then she with this old ass nigga in the car, which I believe he was trying to fuck him, or he might have been fucking him. So it is what it is. I hate to lost their life.
He probably had threesome with those little girls.
Right. You know
Well,
what I'm
they're
saying? I hate
young.
that they
They're
lost their
young.
life. I hate they lost their life. But you know, hey, you play with fire, you get burned. Or what Thomas said, you play stupid games, you win what? Stupid
Stupid
prizes.
prizes.
Stupid prizes.
Stupid prize.
Uh,
Well,
Mind if
right.
I hop in here?
I
Let me
watched the
pass it
news
on to
report.
Chris.
I watched the news report, guys, and Chris, you're right. I remember watching that news report, and it was sad when the young girls drowned. I don't necessarily feel sorry because the young girls they put themselves in that position, and as every news report comes out of stories like this, the black woman will come to scene to defend the other blacks. This is how it is in the black community. Black women they go on camera and defend it no matter what decision another black person does. Every time nobody criticizes the blacks for their decision making, nobody does that. And if a white person says anything, they will be labeled a racist. This is how it is, guys. So I don't really feel sorry when time cops shoot these blacks or shoot these niggers or when they end up dead. I don't really feel sorry. As you said, you mentioned cops pulling over somebody. If I get pulled over by a cop, just do what the cop says. Don't argue. Just do what the cop says and stay out of trouble. Maybe they'll let you off with a warning, or maybe they'll be lenient with you. You don't know. But do what the cop says. Don't pull out a
Exactly.
gun and start. Why do that? Why put a gun? Why do that?
Exactly.
Like for
And
instance,
a
I
lot of
saw
them
the
will
news.
let you off.
I watched.
And a lot of them will let you off with a slap on the wrist, man. They'd be like, okay, man, just be careful next time, especially if you ain't got none on your driver license. And they run your driver license, you ain't got none on your record. A lot of them fuck with you. A lot of them fuck with you. Go ahead,
Yep.
Kay. You got something you want to say, dear?
Exactly.
I want to put my little dollar in here. Okay, now I'm gonna pay devil's advocate. You do have a lot of upset people, okay? Black people in general, with the injustice that we see advertised on the TV. But the problem is, too many of us are yelling "fuck the police" instead of respect the police. Because I have, hold on, I'm gonna say this because I've seen, I'm in Port St. Lucie, Florida. I don't know if y'all know, this is definitely majority white. Okay, I have been harassed for tail lights being out, and they will stop me. Guess what I do? Hey, officer, is there a problem? Yes, sir. No, sir. Look, I've even cried my way out of a ticket. Look, yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Look, I know how to
Use the
behave.
feminine charm. Use the feminine
Oh
charm.
yes, I've never gotten a ticket.
Ain't no reason
Use
why
the
not
feminine
to.
charm.
Yes, like it's
Right.
respect them. Show respect. They're there to do their
Yeah.
job. If you
Yeah.
meet them with hostility, they're gonna treat you like that. And if you are, with a crooked cop, get pulled by a crooked cop, why would you give them more reason to do something to you? You're not gonna get injustice. You're not gonna get justice.
Exactly.
You're gonna have a whole bunch of people, black people, boycotting and causing scenes in the street, and then a few months later, you will be forgotten about. It will fade out of the media.
Exactly.
It's just gonna be a repeated cycle.
There's
Mind if I
some
hop in real quick?
Okay, let me pass it on. Okay, hold on, Chris. When you get through, Steven, I want you to come in and say your input if you got something, brother. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, so here's the big thing. I feel like we have to really frame the situation to really understand. First of all, you have people who, when they strap that gun on every day, they go out with the assumption that their life is under severe risk. And as somebody who's been in that situation under different circumstances, I really, really understand that. There was a time when it was my job to check people's vehicles. We would have to climb into these vehicles and look for contraband before we went out on the road. And one time I found some stuff I had to take away. And the person at the time responded by grabbing onto my flak jacket. Now, where my flak jacket was, right over my left breast, was a bayonet. And at the time, I thought the guy was going for my bayonet. And being in that situation and that circumstances, and when you put on the flak jacket and you pick up the rifle, you make the assumption that your life is under threat at all times. And so I was under the assumption this guy was going for my bayonet, and I roughed him up, and that was my job. That was my job to do that at the time. And nobody liked it. I didn't like it. He didn't like it. My bosses didn't like it. Nobody was happy about it. And even after the fact, I still remember that dude's face, and I wonder, I hope I didn't ruin that guy. I hope I didn't make him dislike all Americans because of it. I hope he understood that he just did something I couldn't be having him do. And this is the problem is you've got these cops that they strap on their guns and they're under threat. I mean look at the change that we've had just in 35 years. Cops have gone from a blue uniform to fucking tack gear. These cops are strapped the way that I was strapped when I was in the Marine Corps. When I was in a combat zone in a third world country, they're carrying practically the same shit that I was carrying. They're carrying level 3 armor. They're fucking carrying assault rifles. They've got more gear than I had when I went out there. You know what I mean? And they're under serious threat. Now, does that make it okay for them to go out and brutalize people? No. Does it happen? Hell yeah, it happens. Everything you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when people say, well, racism still exists. Well, fuck, of course racism still exists. People are fucked up.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm not a big religious guy, but one of the things I've always said that religion got right is human beings are deeply flawed, deeply broken creatures. We're greedy, we're selfish, we're violent, we have a propensity to hurt one another, and we always think about ourselves before we think about others. When you send somebody out into that situation and they see, and some of it's their fault, some of it is because somebody grew up as a good old boy in a good old town and has an attitude towards anybody who's not lily white. That exists, but that's not the majority, and it kills me because I see these guys, man, they see people at their absolute worst all day long. People who got a bad attitude, people who aren't following the rules, people who think they're above the rules, people who think that there should be an exception for them for the rules, and they're yelling at you, treating you bad. And hell, as a white guy, I think I've been drawn on. I've been flagged twice as an innocent bystander in a drug bust. I've been pulled on twice, both times as a victim of a crime. I was the victim of the crime, and the cop pulled the gun on me. And I'm about as white as you get. I'm so white that I don't tan, I burn. You know what I'm saying? So it just kills me because he's
vampire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm white. I mean, I'm white. I'm telling you, I don't go out and tan. I go out and I get crispy. You know what I'm saying? So, it just trips me out because they treat me that way too. They don't want me to kill them. They want to go home to their wife and their kids, and live their life just like everybody else. Also, they could stand to have better training too. They need more training. A lot of these cops don't get enough training. So.
All right, Chris. Appreciate that, brother. Let Steven get back in and see if he got a point of view on that. Go ahead, Steve. You got something you want to say, brother?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think a lot of the time people want to blame the police for a lot of the injustice, I guess you would say, but in reality, when you look at it, like, I'm African American and I get a ticket probably once a month, and I talk shit to the police. I talk shit to the police every time I get a ticket, and I still haven't been shot. I think that probably boils down to the fact that I can speak, and I don't speak in a Ebonics nature, so I don't necessarily come off in a way to where they have to now judge me differently than they would the masses. So if you give them a stereotype right off the bat, then they go into that trained mode because they are trained to spot abnormalities. You know what I mean? So if you're acting shifty, they want to catch you up, and the whole thing is a system play. So it's up to you whether or not you wanna let them shoot you or get a ticket.
Out of curiosity, would you reckon that the reason that you're getting tickets so often is it because of your age and whether or not you're following the rules, or is it because of your race? Would you say?
I ride a motorcycle, so I put all factors in it. Motorcyclists get pulled over a lot more than regular motorists do.
You be doing 100 miles per hour on the low.
What state are you in, though? Out of
I'm
curiosity.
in I'm in Nevada right now, but I used to ride in
See,
California as
Oh
well.
yeah, you're doing about
bro,
100 every now and then.
bro, the
No,
About
cops.
100.
not at all. But what the police do, and I'm not gonna say I'm not at fault, for the majority of it, but you make yourself a target, and that's the thing with people. They're making themselves a target, and they want to be that next martyr.
What's
Honestly,
that?
people
Ride,
would rather.
ride flashy and you get noticed kind of thing.
Um, well, it's kind of a setup because you have to wear a bright vest to be seen, but then anything that you do, you're seen. So.
See, the cops back when I haven't ridden for a while, but the cops used to leave people alone in California. I used to get on the freeway doing triple digits, and the fucking bike cops would pass me doing a $120. Back
Yeah,
in
in
the day.
California it's all right. In Nevada, they're vicious out here.
I bet, dude.
Yeah, but I
What
mean,
state is that? What state is
yeah,
that? They actually got a state that says if you drive too slow, you can get a ticket. What state is that?
I mean that's just law. That's just traffic law.
That's all of them. that's all. It's called impeding traffic. Is the code.
Yeah, driving at an unsafe
If you
speed.
drink, if, if you drink while you drive,
Mm,
if you drink while you drive,
mm.
how much you have to pay? How much you have to pay? If you
I can
drink while
answer
you
Good
this
drive,
because
and
I
you,
just he asked it what you can get,
Nepal.
what the penalty is. In most states that I lived in, I'm answering Paul's question here. In most states that I've lived
Oh, okay,
in,
okay.
after everything's said and done, it'll cost you about $17,000 for drinking and driving.
Yeah,
damn,
it's
that's
15
a
to
lot.
25
That's a lot.
grand, including
Damn, that's a
that's
car.
yeah, that's including fees,
That's a good car.
lawyer fees, and like court costs and stuff. Yeah, 15 to 25.
Okay, so wait, so
Okay.
so guys, if you fail to pay that fine, your license will be taken away from you or what?
Oh yeah.
No, your license is taken away from you as soon as
Oh
you get the
yeah.
DUI in most states.
Already.
And then if you don't pay the fee or the whatever, if you don't show up to court, that's just a warrant for your arrest.
Yeah, but when they scoop you up, they
You're just
impound
done
your
after
vehicle
that.
anyway, though. So
Okay. All right, hold on, people. Hold on, people. Lene, are you still here? Are you hearing us? Are you still here?
I'm here, dear.
Okay. You want to put in on this about the people dealing with cops or children dealing with cops or your experience with dealing with cops?
I haven't had any.
Really?
she follows the rules.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, go ahead, go
honestly,
ahead.
I
I
see.
haven't
Go
had
I
ahead.
any.
see.
Her feminine
What
charm is
about your
excellent,
son?
I bet.
What about your son? Him dealing with the cops? Has he had any times he got pulled over, and how did he handle it?
Well, he actually only got pulled over one time. He had gotten a new truck, well, new to him truck, and he was dropping off the utility bill, and he noticed a cop seemed to have been following him. He pulled into the utility company to drop it in the box, and the cop pulled in front of him where he couldn't pull out. And he walked up to the door and said, "What's your name, son?" And he told him his name, and he said, "Where have you been?" And he said, "Well, I'm coming from work, dropping off a bill for my mom." And he said, "Well, how long have you had this truck?" And he said, "Well, I just
Oh
bought
my
it
God.
like 2 weeks ago." But he was very respectful, and my son gave him the driver's license. He ran it and then gave it back and told him to have a nice day. So we figure either somebody had that truck or a similar truck that was not doing the right thing.
In
But he's
Arizona,
not been
they
pulled
can
over
actually,
since.
in Arizona, and I think this might be in a lot of states too, but I know for sure in Arizona, they can lie to you about the reason they pulled you over. If they're looking for somebody who's driving a similar car to yours or one that matches it, they'll lie to you and tell you a reason because they're trying to figure out if you're the person they're looking for.
Well, I don't know what happened this day with me. I used to have a '99 Explorer. I'll never forget the day I had some bogus tags. I mean, the tags, there was to the car was the right tags, but somebody sold me, it was back in 2013, somebody sold me a 2013 sticker. I got that for me to ride on by till I got the money to get the real sticker. Man, I was doing good to this. One day I got off work and hit the expressway. I'm noticing that I'm driving, and every time I change a lane, this car would change the lane right behind me. I get back in another lane, some bitch get in the lane right behind me. So I get off on a ramp, and some bitch get off on a ramp behind me. I'm like, who the fuck is this following? So when we got down here, we got a street called Kirby Parkway. When we got on Kirby Parkway, he went all the way over to the right lane. I said, okay, well maybe he was just going the same way. So I'm thinking I'm good. So I'm riding on down the street and I'm finna pull up to the CVS. I put up to the CVS, lights just came out of no fucking world. I mean, these lights came out of no fucking world. I said, oh shit. That's why he followed me. He was a sheriff. You know, a sheriff got them undercover cars. So, of course, they asked the question, you know why I pulled you over? I already know why you pulled me over. Yeah, your car's not registered. Your car registered? I ain't even finna lie to you, bro. No. So, of course, he asked for the license. How cool he was. He said, I didn't know they do this. He said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a warning. They actually write you a paper that says warning. He said, you ain't got to go to court or nothing. It's just a warning. He said, but if I was you, I'll go scratch that sticker off now because the next person who pulls you over might not be so nice. So I went into the store. He stayed in that parking lot. I don't know if he waiting to see whether I'm going to take this sticker off or not. But I said, shit, let me take this sticker off because he's right. Now, I don't know what's the penalty of riding around with a bogus sticker. Matter of fact, Huggy P, you talked to me about that one time. What's the penalty for that?
Criminal simulation. It is a felony. I got that charge.
What's
There are
usually
decent
the
cops
fee when
out
it
there,
happens?
guys.
Yeah,
So
what's the
Chris,
fee when it happens? What's the fee when it happens?
you could deal with it by getting you a lawyer or get you a cheap lawyer and they drop it to a misdemeanor. You pay the fine, get it off your record. But if you be an idiot to just not plead guilty to it and then you take it to a little trial or whatever, you can end up having a felony on your background. Because what you're doing is basically you're counterfeiting registration paperwork. Because that's what it is.
Okay.
It's not real, so it's counterfeit. That's
Oh,
what they
you
call it,
know,
criminal simulation.
I like that talk we just got on, man. All y'all has a good points, and a couple of y'all brought up some stuff that I didn't even know. So we hit on that point real good, and go to show you that you do what the cops just ask you to do. 9 times 10, nothing happens. Slap on the wrist,
Yep.
go on by your business.
When they
But be a
do,
jackass,
what the
be a
what the cops
jackass,
say,
complications. More complications.
when they do what the
So
cops tell you
anybody
to
else got
do,
anything?
you're good. Yeah.
Okay. So anybody else want to speak on that
Last
topic?
one I say
Anybody
is
else want to
this:
say the final word
when
on
you,
it?
when you do, yeah, when you do what the cops tell you to do, Chris, because there's a good chance they'll be lenient with you, and then chance are they just let you off with a warning. But this is what I don't understand with blacks or maybe anybody else. Why would you make the cops' job complicated? Just make their jobs easy, and they're gonna make your life easy.
Mm, mm,
Chris,
mm,
Can I
mm.
also add something?
go ahead.
I want to say that
Wait.
if everybody's is so against the police, I don't understand why a lot more people don't just go out for the academy and change it because it's not that hard. It's just a test and a
Yes.
physical. So, I mean, if you think the police that are there are that bad, then we can all just apply on our own because it's honestly just a job.
All you gotta
Drop the
do is
mic. Walk off the stage.
ask them what are you gonna do when you fall out and pass out or somebody kicking your door. Who you gonna call?
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
right.
I'm not I'm dealing with it
Right.
myself and then I'm calling.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was
you know
gonna
you're
say
eventually gonna call them.
that.
You know what I'm saying? So
If somebody busts in my door, I'm gonna call the cops so they can come and scoop up what's left of the guy. But yeah, you know,
Chris, let me ask you a question. When you was talking earlier, you said somebody reached for your vest, and you said you were a Marine vet. If I heard that right.
yeah.
I'm pretty much sure they teach y'all like defense techniques when folks try to grab at you. Do they teach y'all is shooting as the last resort, or pretty much self-defense is in play?
Well, it depends. Rules of engagement vary from zone to zone. So, to give you a good example, I was deployed to southern Iraq down, what year was that? I guess that would have been late 05, 2005. Now, down in the southern Anbar province of Iraq at the time, it was a little bit quieter. Now, I mean, we were still getting mortared every day and shit, shot at and stuff, but it was a little different. What a lot of people have to understand is after about a month and a half, the Iraq army folded, and then at that time, the Muslim warlords declared a caliphate, and they declared that all good Muslims would have to go and commit jihad. And so at that time, Syrian jihadists were pouring over the border down into Iraq from the north. So the more north you went, the uglier it got. Now about halfway in, I got sent up north. No, so anyway, down south, because of the nature of my job, our rules of engagement down south was I would have to do hand signals. Like say if a vehicle failed to stop that was passing us, I'd have to do hand signals, and then I'd have to shoot a flare at their vehicle, and then I'd have to shoot warning shots, and then I'd have to try to disable their vehicle, and then if that didn't work, I had to try to shoot the driver. But because of the speed, because I'm doing 50 towards them and they're doing 50 towards me, that sort of plays out like I wave one time, I shoot a fucking flare at their vehicle, and then I fucking track rounds up the asphalt through the engine block into the driver, and then just, destroy the vehicle, because there's just no time. Now, the more north you went, the ROE got looser because it was vastly more dangerous. So when I was up near like Al Assad, up north of Fallujah, our ROE was something a little like anything within 100 meters of you, if you feel that your life is genuinely in danger. And this is what our command told us. They said, if you can look me in the eye and tell me in all honesty that you believe that your life was in imminent danger, we'll go to bat for you. Because no matter what you do in the Marine Corps, you shoot somebody, you're going to be reviewed. They're going to investigate you, and they're going to investigate the circumstances of the situation, and you better be able to justify why you done what you done. And there are times where I've been in some fairly sketchy scenarios, and sometimes I chose to do what I had to do, and sometimes I made a choice not to. But I'm going to tell you about a situation where I chose not to. We were up to a place called Al Qaim. It's a train yard just south of the Syrian border, and we had a base there at the time. And just 17 miles south of there is a little town that we codenamed Little Beirut. Known hostile area, pinch point. The road drops off into gravel, does a double hairpin turn, and you have to go through the middle of this town to get to where you're going. And they're known hostile. Well, we had had a vehicle hit an anti-tank the day before, and 2 of our guys died on the convoy I was on. When we went back through, they had replanted a bomb, but because we're facing the other way, I was stuck in the middle of the town. So here I am in my truck. I'm in a 7-ton. I've got a gunner on the top with a 240 Golf machine gun. I'm riding empty. I got no cargo, and I got my gunners. He's faced to the right, and I got my M16 sitting up on the dash, and I've got the radio in my ear, and I'm trying to figure out why the fuck I'm stopped in the middle of this town. And I'm just sort of absently listening, looking forward, looking back, and I realize I'm the only gun truck in this section of road because there's a hairpin in front of me and a hairpin behind me. And then as I was sitting there, I thought to myself, holy fuck, there's nobody covering my left. And I look up to my left. And there's a 12-year-old kid, okay? Couldn't have been more than 12 years old, wearing baggy pants, baggy fucking shirt, big baggy heavy coat, like winter coat, but we're talking it's 132 degrees out, and he's in a dead sprint running to the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you, my life flashed before my eyes. The radio dropped out of my hand, the rifle got poked out the window, it came off safe, round went in the chamber, and I'm screaming at this kid, he's running at me, I'm screaming, my gunner's fucking screwing around with the turret trying to get it turned around, and I'm in a standoff with this kid. And as I'm squeezing the trigger, this kid finally comes to a stop. And we sat there in a 15-minute face-off with this kid staring me down, just staring directly into the whites of my fucking eyes. He wasn't afraid of me at all. And the problem was I didn't know. I mean, he might have been running towards my vehicle for a bottle of water, or he might have been running towards my vehicle to kill me. I have no way of knowing. And that's a situation where it turned out, I'll tell you what, I had 2 little sisters who were about that age at the time. And I seen them, their faces flash in front of my eyes. And I made the choice not to shoot this kid. And I got in trouble, by the way, because I broke ROE to do it. But I made a judgment call on it. And that kid, his face, I will remember until the end of the days. I remember what he was wearing. I remember what color it was. I remember where there were dirt stains. I'll always remember that kid. And I didn't even shoot him. I didn't even hurt him. I just, stopped him from approaching me. But anyway, go ahead.
It's amazing. It's amazing you telling that story, man, because how you explain it is almost like how you seeing them war movies that they be putting out lately. I remember seeing a movie pretty much almost explain exactly what you just did. I don't remember, was it Survivor or was it the movie they put out where they supposedly had killed Bin Laden? But somewhere in the movie, the kid was running towards them, and I think the kid ended up getting shot. And that's what I thought about you telling that story. So if I'm using the logic that you're saying, so what they really showing in the movie about these wars, pretty much what goes on for real.
It gets nasty out there, and what people got to understand, man, you hear about stuff like 3-4 going out and killing all them villagers. I don't know if you guys recall that, but I spoke with some of them guys, I don't know, maybe a week before it happened, that delivered their mail down in Haditha Dam, and them guys were, their friends, the people they care about. The guy who it's their job to protect that dude with their life. That's every Marine's job. We talk about, I got your back, you got mine. You got my 6, and it's, you trust that guy, you trust him to the fullest extent possible, and then somebody comes along and they take that person's life out from under you, and you got to live with that. And you get some of these guys, man, they go over the edge, and you have to understand, man, the jihadists, dude, they would force the families to give them quarter. They would force them to work. They would force them to fucking plant bombs. They were blending in with the civilians, acting like they were civilians. And so it was always very hard to tell. You had to step very carefully to know which one was the terrorist and which one was the civilian who's just trying to live their life and happens to be stuck in a bad situation. It's a tough job, man. And you get called every name you can imagine.
Man, salutes to you, bro. Man, shit, I don't know what the fuck I would have did in this situation, man. But I guess once you get trained enough, you'll know what to do in this situation. But I guess I can understand you seeing a child running. You don't know what to do because you don't want to kill a child. But what y'all there for, what you're trained for, I guess it's pretty much you already know what you're supposed to do. So
he had
this is why
about 5
this
feet.
is
He had
why
about 5
I,
more
this
feet
is why
before he was done.
this is why I
Right.
vocalized this before, and I'll say this again. Everybody talks about deploying the National Guard to different places that are out of control. I've heard it talked about with Chicago. I've heard it talked about with all these other places. I was never deployed, but I was in the Army for 3 years. And I can tell you, and I'm pretty sure Chris will agree with me, any military branch is not trained to be a fucking police officer.
That's
Not
the
what we're
other
trained to do.
problem. Yeah, that is the other problem. We have about a 65 to 70% crossover from the military into the PD, and that's the other problem is because now here's the thing, the way that I'm trained, and I've had to have this discussion with a couple of MMA fighters, and that's a whole other fucking problem. But the way that I'm trained, if I get into a physical confrontation with somebody, I'm there to end their life. I'm there to fight until they stop fighting. Anything that I have to do. If I gotta bite a dude's nuts off in order to win, if that's what it takes, if that's what I absolutely gotta do to win, that's what I'll do. There are no limits. Improvised warfare. If I got to beat someone to death with a pipe in order to keep living, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not there for points, and I'm not there to make an arrest. When you have that much crossover and you have that much mental damage that's done, because I'm telling you, as somebody that's seen it, seeing and experiencing people at their worst every day, it takes a little something away from you, who you are. It diminishes your spirit.
Chris,
Go ahead.
Chris, good luck. Good luck dealing with blacks.
Let me ask you.
Good luck dealing with blacks. Good luck dealing with niggly bears.
I'm too white to say that, man. I can't do it.
Good luck dealing
Chris,
with them.
Tommy said he made the shit up to where everybody will be able to say it. They can't say you being racist when you say niggly bear.
Hey, look. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I love doing that. Hey, David, Chris, speak your mind, brothers. That's what we're here for, man. Speak your mind. Don't hold back. Don't hold back, because we all in agreement. Niggas is stupid. Whores is stupid. So,
well, you know,
man, don't hold back, man, because regardless of whether you don't say it or not, people who probably seen you join this, you're going to get called out your name anyway. They probably say, why you over there talking to them black niggas? Why you over there talking to them black niggers? You a coon. You a coon. You a coon. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't know where that shit come from, that coon shit. You a coon. Even with me old ass. You a coon. You a coon. Like I said earlier.
No, not the white Chris, the guy.
Okay.
I'm a former Muslim, and what I learned about a lot of those countries over there, for the most part, is a lot of those guys are really radical. Like you had stated, they made a religious leader, which is a caliph, and I'm like, you can't do that in Islam. That goes against the religion. And when you said that, I said they really do that. They like to say we're gonna do our own thing. We don't follow. We're gonna do our own version of Islam, like how they try to tell the women they can't drive and all that crazy shit. Like, you know, it's a difference between being modest and just ruling the country to the point where women have no say at all.
Well, it's like all these. It's like anything else, man. If I take Christianity, let's say, like, okay, look at. If I go and I pick up one of my guns off the gun bench right now, which is about 10 feet behind me, and I go door to door blasting every one of my neighbors in the name of Christianity, and I'm not Christian, I'm like agnostic at best, but if I go do that, right, I'm a religious zealot, right? If I just decide I'm going to create my own Christianity or whatever, and I go kill a bunch of people based off of that's what God told me to do or whatever, you know what I mean? It's the same thing, man. Anybody can take anything and corrupt anything to be whatever they want it to be, you know, and it's just like the argument. I mean, this is the thing, man. It doesn't matter what if we're talking race issues, if we're talking political issues, if we're talking religious issues, feminism issues, abortion issues, or any of these things, we've come to a place in our society where people can't even have an honest conversation. You know, they can't have honest. And I'll use something I know a whole lot about. I'm going to use gun stuff, right? Because that's something I probably fire hundreds of thousands of rounds. I own a shitload of firearms. I like sport shooting. I like hunting. You know, that's what I enjoy doing in my spare time. But, you know, we can't have an honest talk about gun rights or even gun control because the whole argument has become so disingenuous. Pro-gun people can't admit that we have a problem with mentally unstable people getting a hold of firearms. They can't admit that we have training deficits in people who own firearms, and they can't admit that we have.
Mentally disabled people are raising children also.
Yeah,
a large number.
And they can't admit that people leave their guns laying around for their kids to get a hold of, and their kids hurt themselves or other people. We can't admit that because we know that the other side, they're out to just get rid of all guns. They want to ban all guns, regardless of our constitutional rights. So now we have a stalemate where neither side is willing to be honest about shit because we already know what they're up to. Yeah, and then everybody else is stuck in the middle. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with religion, race, politics, abortion, feminist issues, any of that shit. It's just become a disingenuous stalemate. You know, and until we're
exactly.
Yeah, Chris, you and
crime
David,
will
this
not stop. These gun laws that the United States is putting in place that will not stop crime. How can you take away gun from those citizens and then expect crime to end? Crime will still be on the rise. I mean, if we're in a park and a thief know that the people are vulnerable, the robbers will come to rob the people. This is what's going to happen. So gun laws are not going to stop. Are not going to help. Even
Well, good.
Barack
and then on
Obama
top of
will
that,
continue to have guns.
Well, good
and
Even
on
example,
top of
Barack
that,
right?
Obama will continue to have guards.
Go ahead, Chris.
and on top of that, I mean, guns are not always used for robbery when somebody's vulnerable. You got knives, you got Negroes or people in general learn to con artists in jail. They know how to make shanks and all that. So guns ain't they the major problem, but you got to think about other weapons that can be used too to hurt people and rob them.
Well, you look at countries, right? We'll look at Europe, for example, right, where gun ownership is very,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult, or Australia, where gun ownership is very, very difficult, and very few people own firearms. Well, the other things that you might expect to go up if you're a free-thinking, logical human being is that assaults and murders by bludgeoning and by stabbing go up, and the rape statistics go up. So you look at okay, Australia, for example, has a lot less gun violence than America does, but they also have 6% higher rape statistics. The people that could benefit most from firearms don't have access to them. So it's you look at this and you see the same thing repeated in England. They, instead of shooting people, they stab and beat them to death and hit them with baseball bats and
Exactly.
and but what's crazy, and we'll use a current event, right? And I know that this is a very recent situation, and I hate to use stuff like this, especially when the blood hasn't dried yet, so to speak. But look at the terrorist attack that just happened in Orlando. So you've got, and I want to break this down big time, man, because here's the thing to think about. One guy walked into a nightclub and shot 103 people, killed 50 of them and wounded 53. One guy. Now, first of all, it's actually pretty hard to kill somebody with a it's actually pretty hard to kill somebody with a gun. It's not that easy. I personally knew somebody who got shot 6 times and lived, and they're not the only person. I think the record is somebody was shot 17 times with a 45 and still lived. So it's actually pretty hard. Now, I want you to think about that. Dude rolls into a gay nightclub and shoots 103 people before the police finally take him out. Now, imagine if only 5 of the dudes in that fucking nightclub had been armed. Just 5 dudes. How much lower would that death toll be?
Or if 5 people just went after him. That's what I
Yeah.
don't understand.
But instead, people are all about self-preservation.
Like, how was he able to shoot 100 and so many people?
It was a gun-free zone.
But to
not have anybody be able to stop him.
It's a gun-free zone, and
That is a perfect example of gun laws not going to help anybody. These gun laws being put in place, but still going on.
I imagine you guys
everywhere.
Who trained that shooter to be able to shoot that many people? He's a really good aim.
He's a security guard. He was a security guard with a concealed carry permit. But another great example. You look at the San Bernardino shooting, the other most recent terrorist attack. That was 30 minutes from my house. In fact, the wounded that were being treated from that were treating at Loma Linda Medical University is across the street from my VA hospital. It's 15 minutes from my fucking house. You know what I'm saying? And same thing, targeted a gun-free zone. Now, California's got some of the strictest gun laws in the country. Beat only by like maybe Chicago and Washington D.C., which are the 2 murder capitals of the country. You know what I'm saying? You see a clear correlation between gun violence and gun laws. But again, we're not able to have an honest conversation. Us in this hangout might be able to, but the greater country is not able to have an honest conversation. Why? Well, you look at when Obama, and again, I know we have Obama supporters here. That's fine. I'm not.
I'm not.
Obama gets up there and he starts talking about the gun. You know, he did a speech. He did a speech recently about. Well, he did a speech about the Illinois gun show loophole. It's a fucking work of fiction. There is no gun loophole in Illinois. It doesn't exist. You know, he gets up in front of national television and he lies to the entire country about the state of actual gun laws, and nobody calls him out on it. The media doesn't say, "Wait a minute, that's not true." And there's ample proof. Some Steven Crowder, for example, did a thing where he went to Illinois and he actually tried to find out if there was really a gun show loophole, and there's not. And he did hidden cameras, the whole nine. It's just a work of fiction, man. And this is where it's at. You know what I mean? This is just where it's at. We just don't have an honest conversation about anything anymore.
Right. Chris and David, the last question on this topic, man. This topic been quite interesting to me, and I like to hear guys who've been in the military talk about their experiences and stuff. You know, I don't know why I'm fascinated with it, but I am. Let me ask you this: is this fiction or non-fiction? Bradley Cooper did a movie probably a year or two ago where he supposed to play this guy named Chris something. I guess he one of the survivor members of his army team or whatever. And if you saw this movie, you know that every little sound made him jump.
Talking about Lone Survivor.
Jump and he get flashed.
Shell
I think that's what it was. That might have been what it was. Everything he heard, the noise, pop, whatever, it made him jump. So I want to ask you and David, since y'all got army backgrounds and whatnot, what causes y'all to have that if y'all have it? Do they call that a certain kind of thing, or do you have to take medication for it, or is it just something that comes with the territory?
It's called PTSD.
It's called PTSD.
But
they call it who?
PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt y'all. Pro-Blacks have took the acronym and said post-traumatic slave disorder.
What the fuck?
Don't even get me started on that.
I don't even understand it because I've never had that, and I understand what we went through, but I don't suffer from slave disorder. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I mean, here's the thing, man. And you tell me this: do you know anybody anywhere that's being forced to pick cotton out of a field?
No,
because I don't. Here in Southern California, man, I don't see that anywhere. In fact, I ain't even never seen a cotton field in my whole life. Do we have any here in the U.S. anymore? Does that even exist?
Now, I do say this. In Tennessee, they had a cotton gin where they claimed this white guy that was this old white guy who was a racist, and he had employees that were black that wouldn't let him sip from the water fountain. That was a real story. They had people interview and everything with the news station. So
well, you know, here's the thing, man. Like, listen, I mean, we all know that there are racist fucks out there. We all know it exists, right? We know that there's some black people that will fucking just hate white folks no matter what, and there are some white folks that hate black folks no matter what. But when we talk about the real damage that's done to somebody who suffers from, I don't know, somebody calling them, you know, the N-word over here, versus compared to like Saudi Arabia, where they have an indentured servitude program where they ship in workers from Africa.
Hold on. Chris Stone left the call. How did that happen?
Oh, I don't know. That's weird.
He's a moderator. That's crazy. He's back. There we go.
He's back.
Yeah,
So they've got, it's weird because it's still broadcasting too. They've got this, because I'm actually watching the feed on one of my other monitors, but they've got this indentured servitude program where they bring in workers who want to come over to Saudi Arabia from Africa, and they work under contract. And so the moment that they come to work for their new employer, they're indebted to their new employer financially. So it's an indentured servitude program. And South Africa did a whole news expose on this, where they showed where some of these employers were castrating their black male employees.
Damn.
Who were indentured servants. Now, can we compare that to what's going on over here and ask ourselves honestly who's really needing the help right now? I mean,
nah.
Is it unreasonable for a white guy to say that? Is that an unreasonable point of view? You know, I mean, you get somebody.
I missed what you were saying because my connection dropped for a minute, but I'm back now.
Yeah.
So what did I miss?
Basically, what I'm saying is, you know, we all know that racist people exist here in the United States on both ends of the racial spectrum. But recently there was a big news thing. South Africa did a news expose because a lot of Africans are immigrating to Saudi Arabia, and they do it via these work programs. And the moment that they hit Saudi Arabian soil and are under contract, they're financially indebted to their employer from that moment. And it's basically, if you look at the American post-slavery employment programs that a lot of the former slave owners did, where they're basically become indentured servants and can never earn their way out. It's the same thing over there, except that a lot of these employers are also castrating their black male employees in Saudi Arabia. Now, is it possible for us to have, as a country, to have an honest conversation about who needs more help? Is it the people that are dealing with a couple of bad names over here, or is it the guys that are getting their dicks chopped off? Literally, you know.
I say the Africans over there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, that's another country and that's another problem. I mean, as heinous as it sounds, it's you have to deal with what's going on in your own country before you can outreach.
Yeah, but we don't have those kind of problems here. I mean,
No, not at all. But I mean,
Not at
we
all.
have
That's why I
we
said the African people. Those people, I would say they need more help.
yeah, but I mean, if you
Hey,
look
let's
at
be
it,
honest. We'll never be able to have that level of an honest of a conversation about it because we're not even able to do it over here about anything. So.
no, I imagine not either. So I've got a second question as a white guy to ask.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
So very recently, one of my subscribers made me aware of something that I hadn't known about as a white guy. What is up with? There seems to be, I guess, a bit of elitism between, you know, the light-skinned black people and the dark-skinned black people. Where they apparently hate the fuck out of each other, and they call them like quadroons. Can any of you educate me on what the fuck that is and why it's?
What was that again? Say that word again. What was that?
Quadroons or fucking.
You know,
I've never heard of that. What is that?
Octoroon? You've never heard Octoroon?
Nah. I need to look that up. What?
I don't fucking know, man. It's one of my black subscribers was telling me about it, and I was like, "What in the fuck are you talking about, bro?" He was like, "Oh yeah, light skins apparently think that they're better than dark skinned blacks, and they fucking call each other all kinds of racial names and apparently the light skinned blacks think they're better because they're better looking, or I don't know, some fucking weird shit." Somebody want to educate me?
Well, let me tell you this. When I was growing up and back in my school days, I heard that a lot. I never heard the actual term octoroon, but they used to always say that light-skinned chicks had funk-ass attitudes and all this bullshit, and they did have their nose always stuck in the air like they was better than dark-skinned women, and we, the simps, don't make it no better because we can't stay ego up and make them feel like that. I had a couple of females say to me in my lifetime, I try to holler at them, I can't talk to nobody red. Why not? Y'all egotistical. Y'all attitude fucked up. I like, well, I can't argue with you because I feel the same way about red ladies too. I mean, a lot of them do got fucked up attitudes and they keep their nose up there like they are better than everybody else. But now it seems like now that the dark-skinned women got a problem with light-skinned women now because they feel like they're the better cream of the crop. And, it just started this whole thing that, dark skin hate the light skin because light skin think they're better. What up, Jay? What up, Jay?
What up?
What up,
Oh, yeah.
Chris,
So as a white guy who doesn't get it, why is that such a big deal? I mean, who cares? Out of curiosity.
I can break it down.
You
I
know,
can easily break it down. You want me to do it, Chris?
go ahead, bro. Take it.
Since
Take it.
since since the beginning of time, where there was mixing of the race, black people that were actually black, when they started having a mix, even when they considered the actual token house nigga, so to speak, the one that actually got to stay in the house with the slave, when they started having this mixing of the races during the slave times, you had the lighter skinned people who felt like they were better because the darker skinned people like myself would look at them and say they're closer to white, and we always admired the lighter skin tone or the actual image of them. So basically, what we have now is a
Mm-hmm.
tradition that has never went away, and it's gotten worse and worse, and they pass this down to their children's children and their children's children's children. So
Just
what
seems
you
like a
have to
lot of
do
wasted effort, though.
exactly, it's wasted effort to where nobody's trying
You
to say
actually
like,
got
good. Go ahead, Chris.
you actually got dark skinned people now. I don't know about the men, but I know with women, you actually got dark skinned women now that actually says that black men are self hater if they don't date dark skinned women. I don't know where the fuck they came from, but
Oh, Cynthia G's like
Black
black women
women,
say this.
Yeah, Cynthia
black
G's
women.
like that too. So that's one of Cynthia G's prime arguments. So here's the thing, right? So there's what? There's roughly 47 million blacks in America, right around there, 47, 48 million. And I think it's
Mm,
supposed to break 50 pretty soon. And then what? 60% of them are female, right? About 55,
It's more
60%.
females than men. Males. I
Yeah,
don't know
so
the percentages.
I think it's about 60%, but let's just call it 60%. So out of that, you got what? So 27 million of them are women, and what percentage of black males would you say aren't dating black women at all? Is it big?
oh yeah.
I would
Oh
say
yeah.
I would say it's small because we're dating black women. A lot of them don't want to. Just
We're
like
mating with
a lot
black
of women
women,
would.
not dating.
Well,
Not
yeah, I take that back.
Yeah,
You
There's
that's
a
took
a
the
good
words
way
out
to
of
difference.
my
say it.
mouth.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, you're
That's a
right.
good way to say it. Yeah.
when you have the argument, you can't say
Cause
dating because that's a gray area. You would have to say marriage, and that would have to be the argument standpoint because the dating scene is just I have a boyfriend for 2 weeks. We had sex. I dumped
mm-hmm.
him. You
Well,
know.
if you look at like there's two channels, RWS hashtag exposed and Cynthia G. And the two of them are like little clones of each other, only Cynthia G comes off more educated and RWS comes off more hood, just in the way they speak or whatever. And that's one of their big arguments about, black guys dating white people. And it seems like much of their argument hinges on the fact that they can't find a man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I've been toying with this idea in my head, trying to figure out what the fuck that's all about. And I don't know if that's just because there's not enough black men to go around or what. So they're too
Chris, let
much
me
in
ask you a question.
competition.
Have you dated outside your race?
They're outnumbering each other. There's too many of them. Like we already made that clear. It's like roughly we want to be safe 60% to 40. So it's more of them. They already are becoming undesirable at this point. And to be perfectly honest, if you want to look at this light skin, dark skin thing, that plays a part too, because a lot of people are not into dark skinned people, and we try to flip this around as if we don't like light skinned women or men or guys, because the pretty boy thing has always been a light skinned thing. We've never seen
Mm.
a dark skinned guy that was pretty boy. Even when they had pretty boy Floyd Mayweather, they stopped calling him that. You remember that, Chris? They
For
started
black
calling him
dude, that's
pretty
I
boy when he was
noticed
popular.
it.
younger,
I noticed
and
it.
that went
I
away.
noticed it. Yep. Mm. Chris, have you
For
ever
black
dated
dude,
outside your race
for
before?
black dude,
Oh, my girl is Dutch Indonesian, man. Yeah, and the last black girl I dated was she was half black, half Vietnamese. Interestingly enough, which I thought was a pretty
Did
interesting
you
mix.
when you was dating did you get any kind of flack about it? Anybody look at you different or start saying racial things to you or whatever?
Not in California. I mean, California is pretty. Like I was married once, and my ex-wife, she was white, but you know, I've dated Asians, I've dated black, have I dated? I think I've dated Mexican girls. I think I've definitely fucked Mexican girls. I don't know if I've dated any.
Yeah, Chris. Chris,
But
the one thing I need to say is this. If a black dude doesn't like dark skinned women, he is considered color struck by black women. Yep.
I just think that people
Remember,
have their
black women
tastes.
can also say black women will also say this, guys. Black women would say black women come in all color shapes and sizes, but at the same time will get mad if you prefer a light skinned chick over a dark skinned chick.
Well, fuck, you guys are allowed your preferences.
Make
You know
that
what I'm
make
saying?
sense.
Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. That's the thing. You guys have the right to
Here's the
have
thing, though.
preferences,
Here's the thing
you
that's
know?
twist.
Go ahead.
But here's the twist to that, and here's the stupid part to that. A black woman hates to see a black man with a lighter version woman. A lot of black women hate to see a black man with a white woman. But tell me, why do they feel it's okay for them to date interracially? Ain't nobody supposed to say nothing. But when a man dates outside his race, he's a self-hater. Again, he's a coon. He hates himself. Your mama black, which I don't know what the fuck that got to do with it, but your mama black, you know.
I don't want to date my mother.
I don't know. That's the twist to it. We can't do it. Okay.
Exactly. I do not understand that argument from these.
Right.
I don't understand it at all. It's really ridiculous, guys. If you actually think about it, it's
Now,
ridiculous.
Chris.
How can someone
Chris.
tell me that? How can someone tell me
It's
my black?
It's an absurd argument.
Now hear what they're saying, Chris, the white Chris. This is what I mean. They passed this down so many years, but it's women that has been doing it. Because remember, women have always been the ones who mixed the race. It wasn't a lot of black men having sex with the white women in the slave times. It probably happened, but it wasn't nothing really worth talking about. It's not even in history like that. So it's something they pass down, and what they do is they pass the shaming tactics down.
It just seems like such an absurd value statement. You know what I mean? It's like what does it mean? Like my parents have never given a shit. They don't care if I date a white girl, a black girl. They don't care if she's green or purple. It doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? As long as she treats me right, and as long as I treat her right, that's all that matters, and that's all they've ever cared about. And that's mostly what I see here in California. But I do have to say, I have been places where that wasn't the case, and I have seen, like I spent time at Fort Leonard Wood out in Missouri, and it's the only place in my whole life where I've seen the KKK flag proudly flown on a 50-foot pole in front of somebody's house. But so it exists, but for the most part, I've never had anybody get on my case or say anything bad because I was dating a girl of a different race. They never give a shit. And white girls certainly don't give a fuck. They don't care. So I don't necessarily understand why black women have such a problem with it. I guess
exactly.
Insecurities. It's called insecurities.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Insecure, and they pass that insecure to the black men, and the black men say, you know what? Yeah, we are self-haters.
Exactly.
They roll with it.
So okay, we got a white woman with us now. If she can still hear us, Nay, can you still hear us, dear?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, for what you told me, you have dated black men in the past. I asked you the same question. When you dated the black men in the past, and I'm pretty much sure y'all went out in public, did you get a crazy eye, or did any of your friends, white or black, ever gave you negative comments, or how did they treat you once they seen you with another color?
Yeah, well, of course, living in the South, I did get the crazy eye or the whispers or the comments or the tried not to let it get to me, but I mean you just kind of go with the flow. My family wasn't real open to it in the beginning, I basically said it's not your choice, and they decided that I'm a strong enough woman. I'm gonna date whoever I feel like dating. But I mean, it's tough to go out into public and.
So, what was their problem with you? What was their problem with you dating somebody outside the color? Was it the fact that they racist, or they just didn't think it looked good, or what was their problem with it?
Look good. It's just we really haven't had anybody else in my immediate family that had dated outside of our race. So it was just kind of I was the first one to step outside of that box, and you know, just took them a little bit of getting used to.
Well, you know what they say, baby. Once you go back, you don't go back.
Well, there you go.
No, I'm just kidding. So, you say you got black friends that you work with. This is probably just a rhetorical question. You having they sit up there and say, you know, I dated a white man because I think the white man is the best. The white man is the best. It's the best thing going. You ever heard them talk about dating a white man? They saying they the best or what?
Actually, the one person that I worked with that dated a white guy, actually talked about how she was more disrespected by the white man than she was the black men that she dated. But I was around for several of the black men and the white men, and it seemed the absolute opposite. I mean, the white guy was, the couple times I was around them both, he was an absolute gentleman. And one of the black guys she was around was the rudest man, one of the rudest men I've ever been around. So
That's
I
not
didn't
surprising.
understand her
Let me tell you
comment
something.
there.
Let me tell you something now. I'm not saying, I don't know who this chick you're talking about, but I'm not saying that when a black chick, when she does date a white man, that it's not possible or impossible for him to be disrespectful. A lot of females I've seen with a black female I've seen with a white man, this man treat her like she gold. That's what I saw now. But let me tell you something. Now, a lot of times, if a female say shit like that about somebody disrespecting them, a lot of times, them chicks provoke us. Black or white, they provoke us. They see how far they can go. Believe me, I had a couple females tell me that they do shit, but I never caught it. They say they do shit to see how far they can go with me, and I think that's stupid for a black woman to try to provoke a man like that, because you won't like the outcome, because if you got one that's trying to change his life, especially if he's a woman beater, you really get fucked up again. So that's not a good idea, you know. As far as they go, you know, I mean, just shit that they probably say that makes him act the way that he acts. Now, I just had somebody tell me the other day, I was talking about a white woman. She gonna tell me, y'all black motherfuckers, I always try to put you black women on pedestals. You put them on pedestals. I said, hold on, let me stop you right there. I'm getting tired of you motherfuckers saying that shit. Let me tell you something. If we do put them on pedestals, we put them on pedestal because they earn that right to be put on a pedestal. Even with me, with a black woman, if you earn that right, I will put you on a pedestal. But I'm gonna use your logic and give you probably some examples why we put them on a pedestal. One, you versus them, they don't ever have their hand out. You, every time a bill come around, I gotta get this story. Your hand out. I'm $20 short. Can you give me $20 short? I need $20 on my light bill and all that shit. You always got your hand out. You got your hand out with something. A white woman and her business, if she ain't got the money, she don't come to you. She probably got daddy or mama can take care of them, and they don't handle that. Black women, you down on your luck, you trying to get shit going. Hey, babe, I need your support. I can't do it. I got this going on. I got this going on. It ain't shit going on. So I just want your support on something. But you all gotta get flat.
These are the strong and independent black queens in a Chris. These are the strong and independent black queens that apparently need to beg people for help. Yes, to their independent.
I want him to say that. I want him to speak about. Not the other Chris. I wanted him to speak about the white girls that be around black women where they end up learning those ways. Because black women learn the actual stereotypical ways of white women too. So
Yeah, we got you know, to me, I look at the um, Lana. How do I pronounce her name?
Lene.
Lene. Okay. First of all,
Lani.
I'm gonna disclaimer and say I'm not talking about all women. All right.
Oh,
Before
I'm not
before
easily
I
offended.
yeah. All right. So that said, I don't look at it as much as a color issue between women. I look at it more as a lot of these women grow up being fucking told that they're some sort of special princess and shit. And I deal with it all the time where I'm dealing with these girls that they talk to me and they're acting like their fucking vagina is made out of solid gold or something, you know? And I'm like, listen, if you're not bringing anything to the fucking table from an intellect standpoint, I don't care what you think about anything. You don't. It's almost like you don't matter. It's
Exactly.
almost like you don't even
you
exist.
can matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same, and this how I think too. A female can't come to me and tell me she demands me to treat her a certain way. Hey, whoa, wait. No, don't tell me that. You act a certain way, I'll treat you a certain way. You bring something to the table, you got to bring something to the table for me to look at you and treat you as a queen or as a princess or whatever the case may be. You the only if the only thing you bring to the table is just sex, then I should only look at you as being a sex object. Sorry, this is how I feel.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing of, you know, if you, because, and I'll tell you, and I was married for almost 3 years, and it was the worst 3 years of my life, and she was about as smart as a brick, you know, and at some point I realized I was babysitting. Yeah, I wasn't married. I was babysitting. I wasn't in a relationship where it was give and take and there was contributions on both ends. I was taking care of a child, a grown child, and she was white as white could be as well. But what I discovered is there's a certain type of woman that grows up getting everything she wants and having everything handed to her, and she gives a bad name to all the rest of them, and and this is where I say, like, if you don't have any intellect of your own and the only thing you bring to the table is the ability to suck my dick and the ability to do my laundry and cook me dinner, that's all you are. You don't until you develop a mind of your own, or in the words of Cynthia G, get you a life and some business. Until you do that, you're nothing to me. You're a nobody, and so like my girl Julie, she's a smart cookie, and she's not afraid to admit when she doesn't know something, and she'll listen. But she's developed opinions and a mind of her own, and she's life has beat her up enough times for her to develop intelligence and maturity. And
For
there's a
me,
lot of girls that never get that, and so to them, that's what they are. They're a means to an end. They're laundry, dishes, food,
for me,
sex.
for me, I don't really demand a female to have money or anything. I mean, if you're jobless, if you're broke, okay, I can live with that. But if we're gonna live together, I mean, be an asset to me. Be an asset to me. Help me out in the house. Do something. Rub my back. Bring something for me. Do something for me. If you can do these things for me. Tell me happy birthday. Tell me something nice. Tell me you love me. All that stuff. If you were to do this for me, I don't really care if you have money or not. I don't care if you're jobless. I can work with you. I can build with you. But
See,
these
this is
women
the thing.
today,
I
you can't build with them,
I
and they don't care.
I can't
Oh, a
They
take.
don't
lot,
I
care.
a lot of these
I
girls
can't.
just want to hand it to them, though. They want to just be taken care of.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's
Exactly.
This is
these are.
exactly why I'll say that.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
go
David.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. David.
Yeah, what you saying, Dave?
Yeah, what I was.
What I can
All I
say
was
is
gonna.
this. Uh,
All I was gonna say was, if I don't have any desire to get married at this point, but if I was going to, the chick better bring something to the table like what I'm bringing to the table, because you're not gonna be with me for what, I don't know, 3-4 years and then take half my shit. Sorry. you're not going to do.
I know that's
So
right.
you better be
I know that's
self-sustaining coming into
Dude,
it.
guys, we all know how the marriage laws is in the United States. We all know how the marriage law states. If she divorces you, she gets half your stuff and all that stuff. So this is what us guys have to do. We have to choose our partners carefully. We get married. That's the most dangerous position for a man to be in the United States. The most dangerous position. And many of these men who have been in marriages, they can testify to being in prison, losing their children, etc., paying up alimony and child support, all that stuff going on. Marriage today is no good for men. This
You
is
want to
how it
talk
is. So,
about
boys,
you
if
want
you
to
can
talk
find a
about a
decent female,
class? Well, if you want to talk about a class that has privilege, females, bro. There's
Every
a
last one of them. Because in a
Hey, y'all, let's be
courtroom, race
it's
don't
hard to
matter when
find
it
them
comes
these
to a
days.
woman. It doesn't matter if you black or white
let's
Hard,
or
be
Asian for
hard to
that
find.
matter.
right. Let's be fair. Jay joined in. He ever had a chance to say something. Jay, you want to say something on the topic?
Warrior.
Yeah, my bad. I was bowling and shit, man. But
Oh, man.
for instance, man, like my experiences with just women in general, I've only dated one white woman. So I mean, the black women I've dated, for the most part, about 90% of them weren't shit. Like you said, they want handouts. They want shit given to them. They don't bring anything to the table. Um, the black women I've dated don't even have intellectual conversations. They just think about nigga shit, hood rats. Even the women that I've dated who were so-called call themselves educated. I mean, they're still educated hood rats at the end of the day. So that's pretty much my take on it.
You know what? It's amazing that you say that, because me and Hooker P talk about this all the time, man. I hate when a female fucking throw that shit talking about she educated, because the main ones who holler about they educated is the main ones that talk like they stupid.
Yep.
Stupid. Main ones who claim they educated, got a diploma, got a degree, be the main one talk stupid, and that's the bitch 2 + 2 is hell. The whore probably don't even know what it is, but they got degrees. Where you get your degree from? The back of a goddamn cereal box, you dumb bitch? I mean, seriously.
you got to use
Seriously.
name brand purses to teach them math.
Right. Steven, you heard what's going on. What's your input on it, brother?
The difference between men and women is always drastic. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, sure can.
Yeah, we.
I always say the difference between men and women is really drastic, and especially in dating, because I mean, me and Paul said it the other day that the act of courting is no longer involved anymore. So, like especially with black men and black women, we go into it automatically with the physical aspect rather than the mental aspect or intimacy for that matter at all. And it's more of a like a backup plan, but because you're never striving for anything else and you're just in that environment all the time anyways, that's all you see, then we end up laying with each other, but there's no emotion for it.
Steven, let me ask you, since you said that, brother, and I like that point. Again, I want to thank everybody who joined tonight. Chris, especially you, brother, man. You been killing it tonight, brother, and I hope you will join the next session, man. Seriously.
Absolutely.
DK, I appreciate you for inviting this brother, man. This brother is doing it, man. Huggy P, you my boy. You always gonna come through. Lene, thanks for the support, dear. Paul, you my dog. You supported me throughout the whole thing. Steven, you my dog. Y'all been waiting on this, and we doing it, bro. It's good. We
Yes,
doing
sir.
good. Jay, glad you made it.
Yep,
I'm
exactly.
still waiting on years. He said he's putting his kids to bed, but he said he's gonna come as soon as he get done. But I don't know. We still gonna be talking about the time he get done. You know what I mean? It's just 8:51, almost 9 o'clock. So I don't know what's the time down there, or school is still even anywhere he stays at. But anyway, let me get back on what I was gonna say. So Stephen, about it, logic, what we talking about, the women who got degrees and all this and the other. Let me ask you something. Why is it that a woman who got herself together with these degrees, probably got a good paying job, and all this stuff, making good money, but she chooses to deal with a thug? Pretty much a man who ain't got shit, probably ain't never had shit, ain't got his own shit, still staying with mama. He's still staying with mama. But a female who got all
Well,
her shit together
based on how they were raised up,
wants a thug.
it's based on how they were raised up,
Let's even go
guys.
first. Let's even go first.
Yeah.
I mean, besides
Yeah.
the excitement
Well,
factor of
let's
it,
even go first, Paul. You go next.
with
Oh yeah.
I believe with women and the whole wanting the thug is the mentality of it. They believe that that guy can't be controlled physically, but you can control him with the assets that you have. So he needs your house, he needs your money, and by that token, that's women's form of control. And when they procreate with that, when they procreate with that thug, then after that, the thug can no longer afford, or she can no longer afford it either. So she then goes to the regular black man or a white man for that nature, because there's a lot of the times where that's the switch. When they have the kid, then they go after the white man, and
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
here's my thing. Here's my thing, and tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about this. I think a lot of them think that once they get in with them good and probably throw a little coochie on them or whatever, that they think they're gonna change, or they try to mold them in to what they want them to be. But they see now that that's not working. You know, now they want to use this dumbass term called they damaged goods. What's your thoughts on that,
well,
bro?
it's not trying to change anybody at all, because I don't think that can really happen. I think what they're trying to do is just have a good time and just fill that void until they do find that one black guy that they can get with that's educated, or find that one person they can settle down with. But they're still gonna, of course, try to look for the person that looks like them first, and then when they can't find that person, that's when they'll go out of their race. I think with
Well,
Hey,
one
women.
Paul,
thing I
you
can
up?
say,
What's your thoughts,
guys,
bro?
is this. One thing. Well, in my opinion, guys, these females they choose these dogs because this is how they were raised up to believing in. As Steven says, it's a mentality, it's a mindset. And when they see their family relatives, they are their female, their aunts, their mothers, and whosoever female relatives they have, they see this going on in their household, so they believe that this is the way to go. They believe that this is the choice that they need to make, and they fall prey to that mentality. They choose these dogs to procreate with. They choose these no good ass men, and the men, as you guys said before, it's about control. They want to control the dude. The dude has nothing, so he lays up with her in the house, play Madden King all day long, and he does nothing around the house. And the females, they don't really complain right there. They don't really complain. But when they have a baby by that dude, and he's no good, oh, then that's time they complain. As Chris you
Mm-hmm.
said before, they try to cut. They try to change him. If they try to mold him into the man they want, they will inevitably fail. They will always fail. How can you change a man after you have a baby? How can you change a man
Mm-hmm.
then? It's not gonna
So,
Yeah.
work.
Paul,
And then they will blame everybody else.
Also, I think it's a
They will blame.
natural selection kind of thing. I mean, nobody
Paul,
wants to have a baby by a weak person, so finding that
Exactly.
thug is kind of that protection feeling. So if I have a child by this guy, he'll be the one to teach him the manly way to do things.
mm. Paul, let
So
me ask
only
you
thug
this, and
knows
I'm
how to
pass
do
on the
his
Huggy
gang
P.
banging.
Paul, let me ask you this, and I'm pass on the Huggy P. Uh, I think
Okay,
we
okay,
talked about this
okay.
once before. Why is it that a woman says that a man got to have this, he got to have that in order to get with her, mainly one of those situations that says ain't nothing going on but the rent. You gotta have JOB if you want to be with me. Why is it that they think that the man has to have this just to get her attention, and they feel like they ain't gotta bring shit, or either they don't have half of the shit that they're asking for? Give me your thoughts, and I'm gonna pass it on to other people.
Well, wait, for me, my thoughts, Chris, my thoughts,
Yeah,
Chris, Chris,
yeah. Go ahead.
Chris,
Go ahead.
my thoughts. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Go
oh,
ahead,
oh,
Paul.
okay. Well, for me, my, yeah, in my opinion, Chris, what I'm saying is this. These females, they don't feel need to bring anything to the table. This is what I realize. You're right. Well, it's how they were raised. Again, it points back to their mother not teaching the female to bring anything to the table. These women are not being raised up to be an asset to someone, but these men, they feel as if it's the guy's job to do everything in the relationship, and it's his job to please her. But for her now, she doesn't have to do anything. This is how the society was raised up. Women raise up their children to believe in this. So right now, if a dude says he wants something to the table, he wants something from the female, he is looked at as being shallow. A man having standards is looked at as being shallow. If a man says he don't want to date a female that has kids, he's looked at as being shallow. But if a female says she wants a man that is XYZ, got car, have a car, have a job, there's nothing wrong with that. But why is it wrong for a guy to have standards? I don't see anything wrong with that. But this is how society is.
Because men have lost the art of being
So
Other
able to
B,
society
say
is,
take it
guys,
no.
over.
and it's really unfair. It's unfair.
Yeah,
It's
Other B, take it
unfair.
over, bro.
I
Take it
don't
over,
like
bro.
it. I hate it. A female can't.
Yeah, well,
Huggy?
yeah,
Other B.
they use the shaming tactic to make you date the boogeyman. Basically, it's basically a way of saying that. Well, we have the. They feel like they have the power, which in most cases, if you give them power, it's only so much that you give them that we will allow. So you give them all the power. They, of course, they're gonna make their demands. Of course, they're gonna say, "You're gonna pay my bills. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that." And then a lot of the programming was like the song you said. Um, they make music. It's entertainment. They program the women to uh, promoting their agendas and ideas. Like you have this thing where Beyonce just had every woman going off on that man that ever did them wrong, to where they had them saying "I'm sorry" or whatever. Same as with the independent women.
Mm-hmm.
The same as pay my bills. It's programming. They have television shows. Women are that easy to manipulate, and when black women are just as worse. They're just easy. I'll take that back. Not worse. They're easier to manipulate, especially with programming. Like the average white woman is not easily
Okay.
programmed.
Right. Exactly. I like that. I like that. David, then David to Chris, then Chris. I'm gonna shoot it back over to Jay.
All right. I see this. I see this problem as having two key aspects.
DK, you there?
Oh, he might be away for a second.
Was Dave, you still there? Okay, well, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead. Take it over. Then after you, Chris, we go to Jay. Then if David come back, we shoot it back to David.
Okay. So I see this as having two main parts, right? First of all, I think women like to have a project, and because women are socially inclined, I think that often the men are their project. Second of all, most women like a little bit of a bad boy, and there's a difference between a thug, bad boy, and a man who's willing to stand up for himself and say no now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the two things are vastly confused in this topic. I think that women, especially younger women who don't have a lot of dating experience or haven't been around long enough to have the life kicked the crap out of them a couple of times, they don't know how to tell the difference between a run-of-the-mill thug and a man who will say no now and again. And so I think the two things get confused a lot, and I think that I think women make mistakes. They end up with these thugs. They think they can change them, and inevitably they're not able to, because if it's your nature to be a thug, and if you're fucking uneducated, you're not ever going to show a lot of interest in being educated, especially a lot post high school. People just aren't interested in further education that don't already have basic education. And when we get down to it, this is the root of a lot of our violence problems, regardless of what side of the racial fence it is. This violence stuff it's an education issue. But I really do. I really feel like it's that they've confused a bad boy for a thug, and they don't know the difference between a man and a thug. Yep, somebody dropped.
Yeah, I think Uncle Pete dropped it. He'll come back. What you do, Chris?
Yep.
All right, Jay, you up, bro? Yo, Jay.
My bad, I was on mute. Oh, but the women I've dated, or not dated rather, but I've asked their opinions why they like thugs or hood niggas or whatever. They just say they don't want a boring guy, or like you just said, you guys recited that they want a bad boy. But at the same time, like they're not thinking about their future. Like if you want to procreate with a thug, it's not going to get anywhere. You're not going to change a man. A man has to change himself first of all. And like the other guy, Steve, just said, it's about a lot of the violence issues and women wanting thugs. Is they're not educated. They're not getting taught by their parents. And this has been going on for specifically for black people for 2.5 generations. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Like I had to put on a persona with a lot of women that I'm like some type of hood nigga or something. And I grew up in the hood, but I wasn't raised that way, to be a thug or be violent and all that kind of stuff. My mother and grandparents didn't teach me that way of living, so it's just it's asinine, man. And like I said, there's a lot of these women are never gonna have a future. Their kids are not gonna have a future because of the partners they choose to procreate with, and the dudes. I mean, no fathers in the house. And if they do have fathers, they're in my boat because my father was a quote unquote thug. So it's all bad, bro.
Okay. DK.
Yeah. I'm going to a little different way with this whole women issue. First off, I'm going to use with regards to this feminism shit. If they're really pushing for if that's really what they want and what they're pushing on, then I'm going to take the stance it's not a man's fucking job to take care of a woman. It's a man's fucking job to take care of his business and his kids. That's it. I look at it this way. If I'm going to marry somebody, I don't want to fucking take care of you. You're a grown-ass person. This is stupid. Why am I taking care of somebody who's grown? Am I going to... So, as far as who they choose to marry, this is the problem. If you're a good guy and well, I hate this term, but a goody two-shoes, for lack of a better phrase, you get passed over a lot. You get passed over a lot. And what they don't realize is these same women will come back and say, oh, well, I didn't know he was a bad guy. I'm like, everybody around you told you he was a bad guy. You just didn't want to fucking listen. Because women are taught nowadays they know everything. So I'm going to take the stance of that when I get married, it's not my fucking job to take care of another grown-ass human being. Sorry. My job is to take care of you. It's a partnership, not a parenting relationship.
Right.
Exactly, guys. Well, once again, I say you're right.
Man, y'all killing this
Chris?
event, man. You know what I'm saying? I got kind of nervous at first about it. I thought it wasn't gonna go right, but everything is going right. Wish we could have had more people, but y'all Everything is everything, man.
that
This is my
just
first
spoke.
video. Huh?
No, I wanted to back point off what Dave just spoke about taking care of women. Well, I guess women want some type of what they say security or financial security. They're still living in the 50s, man. And I always said like, this is not the old school. This is 2016. I'm not taking care of a grown ass adult.
It's just the picking and choosing of the aspect of relationships. So when you're in the household, it's the 50s mentality. When we're outside in public, it's 2016. I'm a free
Exactly.
woman and I can do what I want. So
I think we need to choose one or the other, huh?
The only people in a household that should be having to be taken. The only people in a household that should have to be being taken care of, quote unquote, are children. If I'm married to you, you're not a fucking child. Quit acting
Exactly.
like one.
I don't know about you guys,
yeah.
but I want to know what the one woman here has to think about it. I do.
You want to know what?
I want to know what, because we have a woman in our company here. What are her thoughts on it?
Go ahead, Lene. What's your thoughts about have you ever had a guy that talked to you or tried to talk to you? And he holler about that. You gotta have this. You gotta have that. And he ain't got shit or what?
No, I don't tend to gravitate towards the bad boy. I've worked my entire life and had my own house. I think it's easier in a relationship if it's 50-50. You know, both people have to work in order to have a decent house and belongings and car and all of that. So I bring as much to the table as I expect the man to bring to the table in the relationship. And when one is down, out of work, hours cut or whatever, the other one picks it up. That's part of what a relationship is. And then when
Amen.
I'm down or out or something difficult going on, then they pick it up. But it shouldn't be expected that anybody takes care of anybody. It's just a partnership.
Yeah, I'm like David there. I'm nodding vigorously right now.
All right. So let me ask you this. Are you a type of woman that you give an A for effort? And let me explain when I say that. That when you are with a man, he's out trying to get himself together and getting a job. Even if he lands a temporary job, do you give an A for effort for him even trying?
No,
Okay, answer that first, and I'll go further. You say you do give him A for effort?
yeah, I would absolutely give him an A for effort. I mean, who knows what happened to the previous job, whether it's his fault or not his fault that he's not working, but he's out there trying to work and taking care of what he needs to take care of, whether it be a temporary job, a part-time job, hell, if it's McDonald's, it's paycheck, it's help bringing, food into the house or help pay the light bill or the house payment or whatever.
There you go.
But then I also ask.
I'm like that too.
I ask at the same time if my hours are cut or I have to be off due to a health concern or whatever. You pick up the slack a little bit, and away we go. That's part of the partnership.
That seems pretty reasonable to me. I mean,
but I'm not the typical woman, I don't think.
Yeah. So what if he was one of the types, and I see a lot of guys do this, and I can't do it, but everybody don't have the ambition. What about a guy, if he does land a temporary job, that's all he do just for the rest of the time, just keep working temporary jobs? How you look at that?
Well, I mean, as long as the temporary jobs are getting our bills paid and taking care of business. I mean, I can't, my income can only go so far, and if we've set up house on the income of two people, I can't for a long period of time carry the bills of two separate people. So whether it's a matter of going out and find a
You just
second
said
job.
you just said 2 keywords. Well,
What's that? What's that, babe? What's that, babe?
Is it just me or is he frozen?
I think
No, there's
so
a little
nigga, if you work at a
accent.
temporary job, your income is what? Yeah.
Well,
Me, the key word is temporary. So you work at a temporary.
Hey, Chris, just so you know, your connection's real bad at the moment.
oh, I can't say anything because I've been dropping off one by one.
Yeah, there's something wrong. I think Chris's connection has gone bad. I don't know if you guys
His
can hear me.
connection does that from
Yeah,
time
my
to time. He'll
connection.
reboot and come back on.
Yep. So, but I mean,
Yep,
your
my connection has
expectation
been
there would be pretty reasonable.
has been bad. My connection has been bad. So I suffer right now I'm just dropping.
Yeah, you're actually even cutting out a bit, Paul.
When I look at it, I like what she said. It is a partnership, not a one person responsibility.
Highly agreed. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people miss is when you're with somebody. It is a partnership, not one person carrying everybody. Oh, everybody's just dropping off.
Oh, no.
All right.
You know,
I got on my soapbox and away they went.
I think when it is a partnership, you still have to make the rules together, whether it's going to be a 50-50 balance or a 60-40. You together have to make those agreements.
Sure, of course. Well, you know what's funny? C.K. Lewis says it. He said, because he's a comedian, he says I get approached by these young 20-something-year-old girls.
I was going to reference him as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I was going to say his whole thing is like, listen, honey, until you've popped out a couple of kids and had life beat you down a half dozen times, you're not a woman yet to me.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
That's my girl in the background. And it's go ahead. Welcome back, Chris.
What else? Yeah, what I was saying, man, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm the host of the damn show, but only one keep dropping. Ain't there some shit?
What are you going to do? Right?
Keep dropping. Ain't there some shit? Yeah. But anyway, though, man, what I was just saying to her is, the key word is temporary. If you work at a temporary job, what that means is temporary income. So if you lose that temporary job, what's that going to turn around to? No income. So I don't think I could deal with anybody who just constantly working temporary. But, to get you back on your feet, that's fine. But I will help you, or I hope you will help yourself and get enough encouragement and ambition in yourself. Say, okay, while I'm doing this, I need to get something that's going to be part-time or full-time where I know I got steady income coming in, because temporary is just what it is, temporary. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of temporary jobs will hire you permanent, but I think the percentage is kind of low in that, though. You just don't never know, because I've heard people that had good jobs through temporary services, and they doing good, and all of a sudden, they get laid off. So, I mean, I give you an A for effort, but just to make temporary just your job, coach? Nah. Anybody disagree?
I think most of it is so it's very depends on the situation, I guess, is the word subjective. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very subjective. So, if you're you got to take the person into account. I mean, if they're working a couple of temporary jobs, but they're the kind of person that has a lot of ambition to begin with and a lot of drive, and you see them out there putting in the job apps every day and trying to find something better, you don't got to worry. They're doing their part. But if they're the kind of person that they just lay there on the sofa all day and watch soap operas, well,
Oh, yeah.
You have your answer as to what kind of a human being they are. You know what I mean? And so it's like you got to take the person into account so much.
No, ain't nobody laying on my damn couch eating bum buns and watching soap operas all day. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. If I'm not, hey, if I'm not doing it, I'll get my ass up and do it. You finna get your ass up out this house too. You're not finna sit on my couch eating Rocky Road ice cream and cookies and shit, watching soap operas and shit on TV. It's not finna happen. It's not
Well,
gonna happen. But like I said,
if a person's ambition starts and stops at building a life-size imprint mold on their sofa cushions, then you got your answer as to what sort of human being you're dealing with, and you don't want to waste a lot of time on that person because life is short, and you get to the end of the road real fast. But
right, is that a perfect example? I got a homeboy of mine who I grew up with since second grade, and I ain't seen this cat in God knows when. I think I seen him again for the first time was probably 2009. I mean, we're still in touch now. He really didn't have no place to stay, so I'm thinking since it's my homeboy, shit, he ain't got no place to stay. Hey, I showed him where I stayed at. Hey, man, anytime you want to, bro. Man, come on over here, man. It's cool. Come on over here. Worst mistake I ever made. Worst mistake I ever made. Because, one, I didn't sit back to think, well, I ain't seen this guy in yay so long, so I don't know what he's been doing. But then I'm looking on the other end, I did grow up with this guy, so, it probably won't be so bad. But it's amazing that I helped this guy. He stayed with me for a while. He was doing everything, man. He was cleaning. He cleaned up behind himself. He wasn't laying around. Cleaning up the house one night. He wasn't working. He was doing everything, doing the part. And I'm just saying, like, well, dude, you doing all this, then why you can't keep no place to stay? So I asked him. I said, why you can't go stay with your moms? Now they say if you can't stay with your moms, that's an instant red flag. So his answer to me was, well, I don't like my mom's attitude. My mom got a fucked up attitude, so I don't want to stay with my mom. So I said, okay, well, I can relate to that because my mom's attitude fucked up too. So after a while, I started seeing his little ambition just start slowly sinking down, just slowly sinking down. I said, now he got comfortable. He's not doing half of the shit that he used to do when he got here.
2.5 months.
When he got really comfortable.
2.5 months,
yeah,
wasn't it?
When he got really comfortable.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Got real comfortable. That's when I saw everything. Man, that's why you can't keep nowhere to stay, man, because you trying to hide your bad habits and you can't do that. You're gonna hide your bad habits for so long. But your bad habits gonna eventually come back. And that's what it started happening. His bad habits started coming back. He was getting lazy, wasn't really clean up like he used to, sleeping all up in my goddamn living room, which I really don't like people sleeping in my living room. I'm the only one that can lay in the living room because I'm the one that's working. I mean, dude was just horrible. He was horrible, man. And I talked to him and I talked to him and I talked to him. I said, dude, just get up, go get a job, man. At least show me that you're trying. He wasn't even doing it.
Every bad relationship has one person that's like at least one person that's severely fucked up. It's when I met my girl's sister-in-law, her brother's husband, and I'm not the guy to do this kind of shit with because I'll call people out on it. But she's sitting there talking to me, telling me about how she and her husband's sitting right next to her as she's saying this, talking about bragging about how she forced her husband to sell his truck, like forced him, right? And I'm like, you forced him to sell it. And she goes, yep, I just kept on until he said. And she was all kinds of proud at herself and everything over the whole situation. And I'm going, mm-hmm. And her husband looked at me and he said, I loved that truck. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? I said, if I was your husband, it'd have been about 30 seconds before your bags have been packed and on the curb. And I'd have moved that truck into the bed next to me where you used to be. And that was the end of that. Oh, he crashed again, didn't he?
Yep. There he is.
Welcome back.
Man, you know what? Every time, you must finna say something good. Because every time you get to talking now, I drop. So So what did I miss? What did I miss, man?
Okay, so she's sitting there bragging to me about how she forced her husband to sell his truck. So he had this lifted truck. It was all kinds of decked out. Now, we're not talking about a lazy guy, Chris. We're talking about a guy who served in the Marine Corps for 20 years across 3 conflicts. He's a fucking professional. He's got multiple degrees. He's a very high-achieving individual. And the first time I met her, we're talking 5 minutes into the first time meeting this woman, and she's bragging on how she forced her husband to sell his truck because it used too much gas. And she's going on and on and on about this whole thing. And I looked at him, he locked eyes with me, and he real quietly, he goes, man, I love that truck. And she's sitting there bragging, and I went, and you forced him to sell it? And she went, yeah. And I said, isn't he the one working? And she went, yeah. And I said, you know what? If you were my wife, it'd have been about 5 minutes before I had your bags packed and on the curb, and I moved that truck into the bed next to me where you used to be. She doesn't show up to family get-togethers anymore when I'm there.
Oh man, ain't that something? He had to give up his prize, huh? Ain't that some shit? What did she give up?
Nothing.
Yeah, what did she?
She probably put out. That's probably what he got in exchange. 10 minutes of sex in exchange for giving up his prize truck.
Right.
I'll never get it, man. I'll never understand that.
I had one girl who wanted me to. I had one girl who wanted me to sell all my guns before she dated me. I'm like, well, sorry.
Oh, my girl used to be afraid of guns too. She goes, I remember when we moved in together, she said, I don't know how I feel about there being guns in the house with the kids. And I said, honey, if you're going to live with me, there's going to be guns in the house. You're just going to have to get comfortable with that.
I don't want you to have any protection in case of robbery.
She loves it now. She shoots now. She's damn good. I took her out to the range the other day. She's putting heart shots on that paper.
Everybody, mute your microphones again, man. I'm going to give like a little final little rant, man. Then I'm going to let y'all have at it. We're going to say a few more things, and it's almost time for me to go to work, and I'm about to cut it short because this thing just constantly keep dropping, and it's been a good conversation for it to keep on dropping. So if y'all don't mind, everybody put your microphones on mute. I'm going to say one little last thing real quick. First of all, I want to thank everybody who came and joined this. This has been fucking awesome. And also everybody who supported me in this, everybody who just came in, this been awesome. Chris, you awesome. David Kelly, you awesome. Lene, you awesome. Paul, you awesome. Stevie, you awesome. Huggy P, you awesome. Naturally K, y'all awesome. Britt, you did the damn thing. I appreciate everybody who came. Let me not forget about you, EK. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to you, bro, but you dropped off and you never came back. Well, hopefully you can come back to the next one, bro. Years, I don't know what happened with you, man, but I understand you got things at home that you had to take care of. So, again, I want to give my thanks to everybody who came to this. One thing I wanted to point out was, I meant to point out at the beginning, Huggy Pete actually put out a video. I don't know, Chris, are you familiar with the YouTuber name Tariq Nasheed? But, Huggy P put out a video. Huggy P put out a video where he was just talking about, who helped him produce it, and he's supposed to be pro-black, but he had other racists helping him producing this movie. Yeah, he had other people helping him producing this movie. So Huggy P did a video just pointing out the people who helped them produce this movie. He said nothing bad about the guy. He just pointed out people who helped produce this movie. This man got attacked. Start calling him crispy. He's a coon. He's sucking blood. Somebody talking about tick-tock, go kill himself. They tell him go kill himself. And I just like, wow, why is it that a black man cannot speak his mind without being attacked for it? Again, he didn't say nothing about the film. He didn't say nothing bad about that man. He just did a video about who was helping to produce the movie. Now, funny thing about it, Thomas Sotomayor posted on his page, and of course, they attacked him even harder. They attacked him. They attacked this man for anything. What if he doing bad? What if he doing good? What is he receiving donations or he doing stuff for other people? You know, Tommy gets attacked real bad no matter what he does. So, and it wasn't even his video, and they attacked the hell out this man. So I'm just like, you know, that's fucked up that we as blacks. Well, listen to you, Chris. You said stuff on your video, and you even got called a coon because somebody didn't agree with what the fuck you say. What is going to take for us to learn that opinions are exactly just what it is, opinions. Coons have not killed anybody. They haven't shot anybody. They haven't molested anybody. They haven't killed you. They haven't threatened you. They haven't kidnapped your kids. They haven't kidnapped you. They haven't done shit. So why the fuck we gotta get called coons? Cause we speaking our mind. And I hope this video can show a lot of y'all. All of us, include another race, had a decent conversation. If we disagreed on something, nobody said shit. And we can leave it as we can agree to disagree. No sense you attacking motherfuckers just because you don't agree with what they say. Just move on. And white always gotta be something gay. You niggas is stupid. And that's why I say a lot of y'all, I don't mind if you get shot. It won't bother me not one bit because you're ignorant. You all gotta say something gay. And it makes me wonder about y'all's sexuality. If that's the first thing you gotta come up with. I mean, seriously. What's the big harm of somebody speaking their opinion? Nothing at all. It ain't taking no money out your pockets. It's not making you get evicted. It ain't make you lose your job. It ain't make you lose your car. None of that. But we get called for a coon. I might get called for a coon for even doing this. I don't give a fuck. Like I said earlier, pull up my records. You won't see shit. So if I'm a coon, then you tell me who more danger to society, me or you stupid motherfuckers. You tell me that. Tell me. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. If anybody want to say a final say, go ahead and mute your mic, say the final say. Tommy Sotomayor actually just got a notification saying he's doing a Soto You Dig, so I might check that out a little bit before I go to work. But anybody got some last word? I really appreciate this, man. Besides the few times I got dropped off, but you know, everything is still everything, man. So anybody want to say some final words, go ahead right now.
Well, the one thing I can say, Chris, is this. You see, these
Go ahead,
pro-blacks,
Paul.
I will never respect them because these pro-blacks are, as I said before, Chris, these pro-blacks, all they do is run around and call people coons all day. I even made a video going off on them, criticizing them because they're frauds. They say they are pro-blacks, but all they do is target blacks all day, call people coons. This coon word that they use is used very loosely. Why can't these pro-blacks go after the problems in the black race? Why can't they go after the real problem? As I said before, coons have never raped, molested, killed anyone. All coons do is speak their mind. But the thing is, with coons are looked at as being a threat. They spend their time chasing coons all day. Tariq Nasheed made a video going on you know this video called The Coon Train is Coming? Chris.
He might have
Hello?
dropped again. I think he dropped again.
Must have dropped off.
Yeah, you know what?
Let me say this first. Tyree Nasheed made a video called "The Coon Train is Coming," and that video featured Tommy Sotomayor and other blacks dancing around, and I had to say.
Now here comes Chris Thorne. He's coming back.
Good. Well, if you guys can hear me, I had a wonderful conversation with you guys. Hopefully, we can add each other on the Google Hangouts and the Google Plus. It was great. Great to meet you guys, Chris. Thank you for having me on the platform. I think it's gonna go a long way. I think we all get together and do this, often, then it won't be such a nervousness in it, and then when we do get together with the rest of Soda Nation, we can definitely have a good time.
Oh yeah, man. I was nervous to hear how it's gonna go and see. My main thing was about the internet dropping, which it's doing, but it look like I'm not the only one that's doing it too, because I'm seeing Paul kind of getting dropped off too. So but other than that, man, it still was a great show. And Chris, man, I thank you again, bro. I don't know if you said anything before I got dropped off, but if you did, could you repeat it for me? Did you have any last words?
Sure, yeah. You know what? It's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone here was awesome, and we managed to talk just fine. We didn't have to agree on anything. Nobody went in anybody's throat or talked rude to anybody. I'm really looking forward to the next one. I'm really looking forward to
Oh
the next
yeah,
one.
man. Yeah, it even amazing, man. We had two black chicks on here, killing it. They was doing the damn thing, but I hate they had to leave so soon. But it's all good. But Natural Case, she said she'd love to join the next one. Hey, no problem. I don't know where Britt went into, but I pretty much sure she had a little more to say. So I don't know what happened on the end, but we definitely going to get her back on the next one as well. But again, Chris, I saw that you added me on YouTube, man, so I'm going to add you back when I get a chance, man. I appreciate you
Oh,
so
yeah.
much, brother.
You bet. Same way, man. Same.
Yeah, add me on Google Plus too, bro.
Will do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Lene, dear, what can I say
Yes, dear.
that ain't already been said? What can I say that ain't already been said?
It is what it is, babe.
Yeah, you said you my biggest cheerleader, and yes, you was. I mean, shit, I believe it's
This was
I
a
believe
good show,
everybody else.
guys.
I believe everybody else would have dropped out. You still would have stayed.
Absolutely.
You still would have stayed. So, hey, appreciate the support from you too, love. It's all good. It's all good. Paul, my brother from another mother in another state, man, you been
Dude,
kicking it with your
you
you
don't
been
know.
kicking with your boy since I first started this, man.
Yep,
So,
I'll always be
it's
here.
always a
I'll
pleasure.
always be here for you, Chris.
It's always
No
a pleasure.
problem,
And,
brother. No
Steven,
problem, brother.
man. Steven, man, you a cool dude. Your logic is supposed to be reckoned with too, bro. You got some logic on you, boy. That's why I like to hear you talk, man, for real.
Yes, sir. Like I said, thank you for having me. I mean, I know I play my video games, but I'm sitting here listening, and we're getting it from different views.
Hey,
So,
hey, man, no problem whatsoever, man. No problem whatsoever, man. But if ain't nobody got nobody else to say, man, hey, appreciate y'all, man. Much love to y'all for that, man. And I'll see y'all next time, man. Peace.
all right, later, yo.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. You
Have a
take
good
care,
one.
Chris.
You
All
too,
right,
man.
bro.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.